checkpoint. You definitely left that, so that helped. You get restored, get healed, get back up to snuff, and then you decided to venture back out. You sought a few more coins in your pursuit, and in pursuit of those coins, you found this fountain. I remember that. And in this fountain, there was something that wanted to kill you because you took the coin. But the fountain also had like these magical, weird ice powers. And it was kind of trippy because it was just like, oh, you're freezing now. So, and kind of wish that I had made that a little bit more deadly. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Yes.
Half of us had like half health or something like that.
Yeah.
We ran for a reason. It was deadly enough.
We left. We did not run away. We tactically left because we didn't need to stay there.
Tactical retreat.
There was no retreating. We just have better things to do.
Yes, such better things, such as finding the final coin and using it to access whatever is in store for you at the exit of level 2 to move on to level 3.
There's also that fun Taroka reading from Team Giant.
There was that.
Those guys.
Remember
that.
That. So that was a good time. And you're kind of making your way to the circus to have a great, fun circusy time, right? That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yay, circus!
Circus.
I expect minimal shenanigans.
Minimal shenanigans.
I
yeah.
expect maximum shenanigans always.
Is that what you desire?
That's what I do. So.
Listen, there's no reason to beat around the bush. We all knew what we were getting into coming into the circus.
True.
Right. Well, I mean, what kind of circus doesn't have shenanigans?
If there's no cotton candy, Moxie's riding. That's all we need to.
Where's the cotton candy elements, Dev?
No.
Where's my zombie cotton candy?
Roll for cotton candy.
I don't have my dice.
I got a 5, a 6, and a 4 on my D6s, so I think that's good.
Remember, the greatest prize is inside.
Inside the cotton candy?
Along the way.
No, inside the clowns. You gotta tear open the clowns to get the cotton candy.
It's the cotton candy that is inside my belly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're telling me
after you
inside
eat the cotton candy.
Okay.
You know how, like, to get drugs across borders, they'll have you swallow the drugs and, like, wrapped up in some stuff or whatever? It's with this, but it's the clowns.
Yeah, Dev, tell us about
Been zero days since our last.
The clown zombies swallow the cotton candy.
Drug mules worked, I'm sorry.
All wrapped up. They're cotton candy mules.
Oh no.
So.
Welcome to the Dungeon Sphere again. On our brand new channel.
Pop.
We are like 5 minutes in and this is what we're doing.
Yeah. So anyway, we have just one special, awesome, super duper announcement. Two, actually. Number one is that you all should go follow the new social media that we have. And you can also join the Dungeon Pop Discord. So if you are watching, you're not a part of that yet, you can click on the links in the About Dungeon Pop section for Dungeon Pop Discord, Dungeon Pop Twitter, and Dungeon Sphere Twitter. But if you are someone who has already done each of those things, we love you. We will marry you. Anyway, yeah, and then the cool thing that I get to announce right now, because of wonderful Meg being a wonderful human being, we have an extra code to Wild Beyond the Witchlight on D&D Beyond. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to run a social media campaign, you know, the whole like follow, tweet, retweet, comment, blah, 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 tag a friend. I don't know. We haven't really come up with the specifics yet, but I got that. It's like lock and key. But yeah, so we're going to give away a code to the dndbeyond.com version of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which will actually get you access to 2 new races, the fairy race which is wonderful. I want to play a fairy. And
So
the
bad.
Herringon race, which if you're a fan of Final Fantasy 14, you will probably end up making a Herringon race.
Or if you're a fan of the Breakfast Brigade's caster.
Yeah,
Caster's
that seems more
Caster's
correct.
Herringon.
I suppose if that is what you want to do with your lives, it's okay. I will
Watch
probably
the Breakfast Brigade.
not end up playing a Herringon ever, but I will be a fairy.
Herringons are ridiculous. At least I don't know. How much did they change them in the book? I didn't really look yet. I know they got like a ridiculous amount of bonus. Like
They have an initiative, bonus, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Like some of the last few books that they've released, like some of the races and just the abilities are
It's
DM's
fun,
worst nightmare.
I just
Super
can't wait to
fun.
get all of that dragon stuff.
Yes.
Drag.
Gonna be looking at that dragon monk, baby.
Dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah, the Dragon Monk looks really cool. The Drake Warden Ranger, being able to just summon your own little dragon, that sounds awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, Team Reaper, I have provided you a map once again. Much
And-
better than Dave's map.
Ta-da! Look at me, I have done a thing.
There's a thing. Good job, Melissa. Melissa's running OBS. So, in the top left corner, there's a fountain. That is the fountain of Frost's evilness. It definitely was not made up last episode.
Yeah.
But the thing that was not made up last minute was the circus, which was about a mile away, because every 10 feet is a mile on here. That's how it works.
Yeah, the only
every 10
thing
feet
is
there-
I
there
don't
is
have
everywhere.
I'm not quite as good at exactly getting exactly where we need to go. So let's see.
Oh, that's yeah.
So the
can
majority of
take
the
your
map is
time.
on there, but it's close enough.
Yeah. So you see my little,
I think
do you
they
see my
should.
little cursor?
I
It's
think
blue.
the cursor.
It's like around there.
Yep, there we go.
And
Look
then
at
I
me.
gotta go this way to the west. Ba-da-bow. And yeah. So while
Slightly
you're
fast,
traveling
not too bad.
to the circus, per the map that has been recreated, what would you like to do, if anything?
I believe we had just finished up a short rest.
Yes, that is correct, because you did take a little bit of pain.
Mhm.
Little ouchies.
Little ouchies.
While
So
we're,
you do have a short rest.
while we're sitting there, is there a are we able to look towards the mountains and in theory is that citadel that's on the map, is that visible to us from this side?
Oh yes. The mountains kind of stand up tall in the center of this level, tall enough to go past the tree canopy. And you're in a pretty sparsely wooded area. There's only a few trees here and there. So as you look up, you'll see the mountains. You'll probably see the ridge line, looking like the back of an alligator or something. And then you see a large, daunting citadel with flames shooting out the top, just glowing red, dark facades standing up with these evil-looking spires. You can definitely tell it's evil. Whoever the architect was knew what he was doing when he created an evil citadel. So, very evident, and you can't miss it.
Is just because there are so many temples and everything like that, does Canari get the sense of this being some sort of temple to a god, perhaps an evil deity of some kind?
You can roll me a religion check.
Sure,
If you dare.
I do. That's my
You dare.
Oh, that's a D12. What am I doing?
Wow. We've only been gone for 2-3
First
weeks,
roll, guys.
and you already forgot how to play?
But that is
Yeah.
a dirty 20.
Welcome to relearning Dungeons and Dragons with King Reaper.
What were you going to say, Jacob?
I just said first roll, guys.
Oh, first roll. Yeah.
First roll of the new channel. It's a D12.
Hey. All
Dirty
right.
20 for religion.
Nothing about it really stands out to you in terms of potential religious associations. Nothing, not even like any of the evil deities as you like go through the list in your head. Nothing really. Maybe it's a temple, but it could also just be like the temple of an evil dictator or king or something, just as easily.
Generic evil fortress.
Generic evil citadel fortress, yes.
You see them everywhere.
Yeah, see them
like
everywhere.
Waffle Houses in North Carolina.
On every corner.
Joke for my mom.
I love Waffle Houses. When I was in Ohio one time, I went to a Waffle House and it was amazing. Anyway, back to you, team.
Live from the Waffle House.
Live from the Waffle House.
You guys can't see it, but behind that dev screen is a Waffle House.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at right now.
Yeah, let's go to the circus.
Yeah.
You continue trekking through as the day seems to get darker and darker as you go. Just with all the time that you've been in a boot, you have probably come up upon the evening. And as the evening rolls in, so too does a dense fog that seems to be a little too dense to really rise up beyond your waistline, or where you are stationed on a mechanical spider, because one of the crew is too short for this dense fog.
Thick fog.
Yeah. So you continue your way and you hear the circus before you see it. You hear music, the type of circus music that like for some reason everybody recognizes. You see some lights shooting up into the sky, and the circus tent seems to be built out of spikes, spires, and different things, but it's unmistakably a circus tent. Awaiting you, probably about 1,000 feet away at this point.
I think I see the circus, guys. Let's go.
Do we want to prep anything before we go into the circus? Do we have any ideas where the last soul coin might be? Or do we just want to run in there, magical, radiant guns ablazing?
Well,
what guns are.
They've all been like with statues, right? Basically.
Yes.
And Team Empyrean said it was a temple to the god of laughter, right? And comedy.
Yeah, comedy.
And it was something on. I mean, based on that, it would probably have to be like on the stage.
Are there? You'll have to forgive me my unfamiliarity with circuses. Are there stages in a circus?
Well, like there's the main like stage, but it would just be like this. Yeah, the center ring.
But is it just the tent, or is it like a larger like circus, like different tents outside of it, or is it just the big top?
It's just the big top with a few different tents outside that seem to just be maybe a place for storage or something, and then a carriage with a top over it and bars that run from the top of the cart's roof to the bottom, and the bars have been pulled away and torn open.
So there's no carnival around the circus. It's
just the circus tent.
Just the circus.
Yep.
Maybe we just go slow.
Let's go investigate I would like to stealth over to the cart that's been brute forced open just to check it out real quick.
All right. When you approach, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Nice.
as
Plus
you're
5. 25.
as you're looking around, you're looking into this cart, the broken bars. You see that the blood on the bars. There seems to be blood on the tips of these bars, as if when something was crossing through, it tore into the side. However, it doesn't appear as though there was any sort of drip pattern to the blood. So this blood, when it got caught on these bars, couldn't have come from a living creature with liquid blood. You're thinking that the only possible explanation is a corpse, maybe something undead.
Zombies. Nothing inside though.
Nothing inside except you find some teeth and an ear.
It looks like humanoid teeth. It looks like monster teeth.
They look like incisors.
I'm gonna take the teeth.
I'm gonna take the teeth.
Take the teeth.
You never know what you're gonna need teeth for.
Listen,
Gorgatula
if we
might like
find
it.
Gorgatula again, she will pay handsomely for these teeth. No, she won't.
Yeah,
But I
it's
love
always
her.
a good idea to have more things to trade, since I can't do another firstborn.
There are 3 more possible firstborns to give up, just to be clear.
Yeah, guys, get on with the selling your firstborn.
If
Yeah, guys.
Canari's mom has any say, there will only be 2 opportunities for firstborns.
We can double up. That doesn't count.
All right. So
Fantasy mom.
inside, there's some muffled sounds. I need 1 or 2 people to give me a perception check.
Go, wisdom characters.
That is a 22. That's a good
As
die.
you're listening in, there's seems to be a sheet that is preventing you from seeing inside, that you would have to like part to go through. But from beyond the entrance and beyond these circus tent walls, you're hearing the sounds of squeaking mixed with footfalls. You're hearing laughter and maybe the sound of, like, you know, when you like squeeze a rubber chicken, like just a bunch of different weird sounds inside.
Who knows what a rubber chicken sounds like?
Me.
Think of those videos of like people just pressing a full thing in and just
Mhm.
Yeah, Canari would just kind of draw everybody's attention to the chickens and various clown noises.
How close are we all at this point collectively?
Well, the carriage was only about 10 feet away from the wall, so
Okay.
if you all were near each other, I'd say you're anywhere between 10 to 25 feet away.
And how wide is this tent?
Uh-oh.
The tent, at its greatest width, is about 135 feet across.
Okay.
As you probably have Soren like go up and take assessments of the measurements or
Mhm.
something. And
Okay.
Did you get Soren's invocation back?
Let's see.
What is the
Actually-
artificer's name?
I actually don't have Soren right now.
Yes.
No.
Soren's
No.
dead.
He's just sleeping somewhere
Yeah.
in the beyond.
I literally cannot remember what the artificer.
Fusion.
Infusion.
Yeah, the infusion. Yeah. No, Soren's not active right now, but what I would be interested in trying, if there's like a place to sort of peek under the tent, if that's possible.
Yeah, that would actually require another investigation check.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's try it. 19.
Yeah, so the tent's walls seem to be staked down pretty tightly in most of the places, but upon further investigation, you see that there's maybe a little loose lap underneath right here. You can always try and go through this little sheet, but that's what they would expect, right?
I'm less interested in like physically getting and just enough to peek inside and get line of sight to somewhere that I could cast the spell Minor Portal.
All right. Yeah, so there is a little opening right here. Minor Portal is a homebrew spell created by moi.
So I would like to create a small portal in space, basically as far on the opposite side, like as far as I can see into the space, and as high up as I can see. Within 120 feet of me, just like a small little 6-inch portal, and I'm going to put the other side right behind me so that we can try and look through it and get a better vantage point of what's inside.
Ooh, all right. So you're going to place the portal high up, just in some position. So I'm going to say that it's going to go there, right here. Ooh, that's a big portal. Ooh. Just looking down, bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And then the secondary portal, just like right there. Boop. That is not 6 inches, but. So you look in, and as you're looking into this portal, that will require a perception check to see all that you can see.
16 plus 1, 17.
All right, as you're looking through, you're assessing the situation, and you see bada bing, bada boom. You see 2 large-sized clowns with giant rubber mallets that are standing on top of these large podiums with a trapeze rope across. You see underneath the trapeze rope a giant 20-foot by 20-foot cube-shaped present box with a red ribbon and a red bow on top. And then you see 6 smaller zombified clowns walking around. You see one is hitting another one with a chicken, and then some of them are honking their noses. You see like some like one of them grab a flower and press it, but instead of squirting water, it squirts blood.
I don't like any of that.
No.
I have a very deep respect for clowns.
They all
and
have
the amount
large...
of work that they put into their craft.
They all have
A lot.
large red floppy shoes that squeak every time that they take a step.
Oh, I
There
love them.
Some spikes along the sides that seem to be just there, and the ground seems to be a mixture of dirt and hay.
I understand what the white cube in the middle is now. I was so confused for the longest time.
Whatever is inside that present, it appears as though they are being guarded by these zombie clowns.
So we have to get the clowns away for us to have the present. Because clearly I want it.
Or if we wanted to do what we did before, you guys could perhaps distract the clowns. I could run to get this present open. Perhaps with Braenna's help, I might not be strong enough to lift the lid of a 20-foot gift.
Oh, I
We
for
can
sure
also-
can grab that.
We can also drop things through this portal. I would have put it as high as possible and as close to the tent ceiling so that it's not easily visible, which means it'll be really high up. We could, cause a distraction that way.
I
Or
mean, if
if
they're undead, I mean, I can go in and I can take care of all the small ones. Not sure if I'd be able to reach the big one.
So here's a question. What if the present is a bad present and there's something not nice in there and we don't actually want it, perhaps we don't want to sneak it out of there.
That is 100% something that might happen. If it does, then we just leave. If the last coin isn't here, we just go.
If I'm in there, I could, because it didn't, I'm trying to remember, when I used locate object the last time, did I get a sense of where it was when, because if I have locate object, I think it's within 1,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I could, once I'm in there, potentially cast it, and if it's in that box, because I think one of us has to go in order for it to spawn, right?
So you, with this spell, you'll need to be within 30 feet of this object to know its exact location, but you can know the direction without being within 30 feet. And if you,
So a question for you. Since we have 4 other soul coins, does that count with me being within 30 feet of said object?
Yes.
Well, and the soul coins are currently in a pocket bag.
Dimension.
Yeah, so hypothetically they wouldn't ping.
Vrexil would make that point clearly. He would know that if they're in a pocket dimension, they're literally an infinite distance away.
Why not? I'm gonna cast locate object to try and find the last soul coin.
All right, so you raise your holy symbol, and as your holy symbol you bring it up, a little arrow seems to form right over it, radiant and glowing, and it is pointing straight ahead toward the center of this church, or this tent, circus tent.
Okay. I'm gonna keep concentration on that. Cool. It's in the center where the president is, so
I have a sinking suspicion that if we can manage to get the bow off of this gift, it might simply fall away, revealing the statue, which the coin is held in. I'm going to rejoin the party.
okay.
But if we lower someone through the portal, they untie the bow.
Mission
Portal's small. Portal's only like 6 inches wide.
Oh,
Is it-
all right.
Is
Well-
this tent open on top?
No.
Or is there like a flap?
There's a flap, yeah.
Like
So
on...
it has like a ventilation opening. It's circular. By the way, how long does minor portal last?
I think. Well, it's concentration. So let's see what we. So I think it's more than like a round. I think it's like a minute. Nope. Concentration up to 1 round. Never mind. I get a whoop, and then it's gone. Woof. All right.
I could potentially get to the gift in 1 movement and cut the ribbon off, and then attempt to move. But no, I wouldn't be able to move out of the way, so if it did come crashing down, I would get crushed, which might be bad.
I mean, I could fly up to the top of the roof, and if it's big enough for me to go in, I can just use another use of it. I mean, I get a minute of it. I can probably crawl in, walk down, if I'm quiet, open it up, and if worse comes to worse, I cast Turn Undead.
Yeah.
You can fly. I can't, so.
Why not? I have 3 uses of it still. I'll use Steps of Night and click my heels together and start running up to try and get to the ventilation area of the big top.
All right, so you fly upwards and you, sure as day, find this ventilation opening that you could probably slip through if you were to like go horizontal. Whoop.
Before Canari goes, Vrexil will cast Sanctuary on her. It won't last long. You've only got a minute, but
It's fine. That's as long as I need to fly.
So Vrexil attaches like a device or something on you, or maybe writes some runes on you, and they take effect, and you get this like almost glittering sheen around your body as the sanctuary takes effect.
Can I poke my head in, like, very carefully through the top?
Yeah.
Just to, like, look down and double check that everything in the portal is, like, accurate to what it is.
Yeah, everything that you had been told by Vrexil and or Umbran is exactly how it is.
Okay. Should I go for it? No go?
I mean, we're kind of like in front of an easy way to get in, right? Like if we hear a cry for help,
Just requires
yeah.
passing through these flaps.
Oh, my favorite. Pass through flaps. Sorry guys, I'm really tired today.
That's my favorite innuendo so far.
Oh my god.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well,
I'm
treated
here
so
all
red.
week.
Look, you made Canari blush. She's not even here.
Yeah, I would say go through it, and if you need help, just like, I don't know, yell help or caca, and we'll know to come in. Whatever.
I will definitely do that.
it has to be Kaka.
Yeah, I'm going.
That's Moxie's monk call.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. I'm gonna like slowly crawl in through the top and like just very like Mission Impossible style, just like flat, trying to make as little noise as possible, slowly like crawl down this like these imaginary steps, just trying to lower myself down. Just boom, boom.
On a scale of 1 to Kronk, how much music are you making for yourself?
None, because there's a bunch of zombies around me.
All right, fine.
Roll me
in my head,
a
it's a lot.
stealth check with advantage.
Ooh.
Oh shit! I should have made you invisible before you went.
I thought about that.
Guidance. Just to double check, make sure you feel lucky tonight. Okay. That is a 15.
All right. None of them appear to notice you. They seem to be pretty caught up in their like whacking each other with the rubber chickens and making goofy faces. But as you look down, you see that like one of their jaws is actually hanging on by only like one side. Another clown's brain is completely exposed and he's missing half of his arm, and just a bunch of various states of like falling apart and decay. The one that lost its arm actually is holding its arm in its other hand, and it's smacking another one around with it.
They're so comical. I enjoy them.
I'm gonna keep going then.
So you're gonna slip through and attempt to make your way to the present?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna have you do another stealth check.
Okay.
This time it's just to like try and not get noticed as you're descending down.
Do I still have advantage?
No, not this time. You're literally just floating in the middle of the air with like so.
You're right. That guidance. Okay, that's better.
Moxie's ready to help at a moment's notice.
That is. That's just a 13.
None of them appear to see you. You make your way down slowly. The giant zombos, we're gonna call them zombos, by the way. That's their official name. The giant zombos appear to be sitting down on their large podiums, looking down at the lesser zombos on the ground, not paying any mind to the actual present, expecting whatever to come through the front. So you find your way down to the present, and you land on it with a soft thud. It seems to be the outskirts of this present appear to be made out of something solid, maybe like a wood or a plywood or something. It's not paper. You don't just like crush it.
Okay. Since
Well,
I still have,
but
I have,
it's yeah.
I have locate object up still.
Yeah.
Is the arrow just pointing straight down?
It's just pointing straight down.
Okay. How close is everyone to me? Darn. Okay. Not close enough to. Oh wait, I have 60 feet. Oh. Does anybody want to scoot up one so I can mind link with them?
It might just be like looking in that direction, just like intently, like someone get with her, come on. And then
Moxie,
after 1 minute, Umbran will point just straight into the tent and cast message to Canari.
Oh, that works too.
How's it
What do you
going? You doing okay? What's
I-
up, bruh? Fucking, it's been a long week.
I am on top of the present. They don't notice me.
Wonderful. Can you get it open?
Yeah, I'll look. Is there a way for me to like unwrap it, or like
There
do I get a
is
sense of how to do
a
that?
large bow. Like you can, if you were to grab the actual ribbon that is tying this together, it appears as though it's been wrapped tightly, tied with this ribbon, and the ribbon you can grab with like 2 hands to pull.
Sure, I will do that. I'll just say, yeah, good to go. Might want to get close to the flaps just in case.
All right, give me a strength check at disadvantage.
Everyone move up. Canari's gonna open it up and let's get ready to move.
I'm ready.
Strength check.
Whose birthday was it? Just a few days ago.
2 birthdays just a few days ago. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was last
This is your
week.
present.
Oh, that's cute. Thank you.
Oh, this is great.
Okay, first one. Ooh, that's good. Fuck me. That's an that one.
Oh no.
So
The other
you're
one was a
yank-
19.
Oh,
you start
no.
yanking at the present, and your foot catches the edge of the ribbon, and you start stumbling, and you fall off the edge. It's about 20 feet up, so you can probably use an action to use Step of the Night to not fall and hit the ground.
Yeah, that's a bonus action. So, yep, I will.
But then you see all of the clowns look at you.
Action to cast Turn Undead.
Nope, because it is now time to roll initiative.
Damn it.
You'll get him on the next turn.
I think the only person you can do is give yourself
Yeah.
advantage there.
Vigilant
right?
Blessing. Yeah.
Oh,
That
by
was
the
my
way,
plan.
I will be using my Cthulhu dice that I got for my
They're
birthday.
so pretty.
Happy birthday.
Spookthulu. That's what we call it. I already did all the rolls for the clowns, so.
God, I had
Ooh,
advantage.
that was a solid roll. I forgot about them at first, so they didn't quite make it in my dice wars, but then I did a secondary war and they rolled a nat 20, so I'm like, okay, you're in.
I love it. All right, so who rolled above a 20?
21.
Same, 21.
Ooh.
Also a 21. I got a nat 20.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All
My
right.
goodness.
Who wants to go first?
Canari.
Yeah, probably.
The first time I've ever
I
gone
cast
first
Turn
in
Undead.
initiative.
No, you don't. I'll do it now.
All right, so who wants to go second?
I'm fine
Doesn't
either
matter
way.
to me. You can go first.
Me.
That's literally how we decided that you would run OBS today.
Yes.
It's like, no, you're gonna. And then Vrexil. Okay, who rolled between a 15 and a 20?
15.
What was that?
15 from
15
Umbran.
exactly.
Exactly. 11 plus 4.
All right, Moxie, what'd you get?
Oh, I have a 5 because I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Your best friend is surrounded by zombie clowns. Also, I'm just gonna metagame this real quick. If the zombie clowns kill you, you become a zombie clown.
Okay,
Fair.
I'm okay with that.
That feels fair.
Dev couldn't make us ugly with the Fomorian, so he's
Right.
really hoping to turn someone into a zombie clown tonight.
I really hope so. That would be wonderful. You just live your life as a zombie clown now. First up is Canari.
Cool. I am using Turn Undead.
What's the radius on
Turn
that?
undead.
Well, like Turn Destroy Undead.
Right.
So, I need a. Oh, which do I need?
What is your level range for the destruction?
So it's within 30 feet. CR 1/2. Yeah. So it's it is instantly threshold for the level. I think it's a half at level 6. Let me
I think you're
pull
right.
it up again. just
I'm
to
gonna
be
say
sure.
that none of these will be destroyed if they fail.
Okay, that's fine. I'll turn them. So DC 15 Wisdom saves.
All right, Zombo number 1. Oh, he rolled a 16 on the die. Wisdom, okay, +0. So Zombo number 1 is not turned. Zombo
Oh.
number 2, 17 on the die. Oh my gosh. Zombo number
Damn it.
2 is not turned. Zombo number 3. It's like Mambo number 3.
No,
Num-
we
number
not until we
5.
get to number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1/2.
Zombo number 3 is turned. Turned. All right. So Zombo
It
number
turned.
4. Zombo number 5 are both turned. Zombo
Turn
number
down for what?
6
That's all I keep thinking about.
turned.
Turn down for what?
And the big zombos aren't turned. We're not sure why. Perhaps an immunity to being turned.
Oh.
You raise your holy symbol, it flares, and 4 out of the 6 smaller zombos, they do something clowny. They they begin to turn around and go. "Ah!" One of them starts blowing up a balloon animal, twist it together, and then throws it at you.
I love them.
Yeah, I'll just scream, "They know!" and use movement to get back up on top of the box.
All right, you're up on top of the box.
Um,
On top of the
And-
box.
what bonus action
Out
stuff
of the
do I
box.
do? Because technically, channel divinity isn't a spell. I'll hold on to that. Yeah, I'm just on top of the box.
On top of the
Can
box.
Can we just say like my hands are around the ribbon?
Yeah. You go and you grasp the ribbon and you wait for someone with a much stronger fortitude than yourself to assist.
Cool.
And then after you're done, Braenna, you hear Canari shout from inside. And a commotion coming from the clowns.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As far as I can get with my movement.
You just burst through the flaps.
Reddit,
and you see the
roar,
scene of-
and rage, and can I tell which ones are turned?
Yes, because they have literally turned. I'm gonna do that right now, actually. It's every one of them except 1 and 2, so.
1 and 2 aren't turned. Okay. Okay. I am going to huck 2 javelins at that one that's close to me because I can't reach it quite yet.
Hakaruni, did you rage?
He did rage.
All right. Rage.
I can't reckless because reasons. 17 on the dice plus whatever.
Oh, that'll hit.
For the first one. Haven't hardly thrown javelins in a while. Let's see. There we go. So, and you don't add rage to
Nope, not thrown weapons.
thrown damage. Yep, okay.
This one that you're looking at, his eyeball, he looks at you and his eyes go wide. Oh, and then one of his eyeballs falls out and just hangs by the like little.
Cool.
Neat.
10 damage for the first javelin.
You throw it and it goes entirely through his chest.
Still standing though?
He's still standing.
Okay, second throw. Oh, that's only a 3 on the dice. For a... Sorry, I have like 6 screens up now because I'm doing this and it keeps on messing up the cameras because because my desktop is going wild. 11.
11 does not hit.
Okay.
So this guy, he jumps over it with his little springs appear out of the bottom of his shoes and he jumps and it just goes and clatters across the hay from him.
Okay, that's my turn then.
All right, once you are done, you pass the turn on to Vrexil.
Okay, Vrexil is going to... A couple of things. For starters, yeah, he's going to quickly scribble a couple of glyphs in the air and toss them towards Moxie and cast Fisticuffs as a bonus action.
All right.
Ooh.
Which gives you boosted agility when it comes to fisticuffs. Anytime you take the attack action and make an unarmed strike, you get to make an additional unarmed strike.
Oh.
So if you don't want to expend the is it as a bonus action or just in general?
It just says they can make an additional unarmed strike as part of the same attack action.
Right. All right.
Yes. And then we'll rush into the tent. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
That's stacked with extra attack.
I would no, the same attack action, so I would assume no, but
Okay.
still, it's one more per turn. And then we'll rush into the tent, and as his action, we'll pull out the Gem of Brightness and say, "Hey, you creepy undead bozos! What do you get when you boil a clown? A laughing stock!" And use the 5-charge Gem of Brightness to make a cone of brightness that will try and catch as many of these folks as he can, specifically aiming for the zombies that are not turned.
All right. So what is the cone's range?
It's a 30-foot cone, and I'm trying to figure out where where's the little drawer guy on here?
30-foot cone.
So could I get 1 and 2 in a 30-foot cone?
You can get 1, 2, 3, and A.
I can I get A as well? Yes. Awesome. All of them. So that is it's a Constitution save DC 15, or they must become blinded for a minute.
All right. Number 1. That's a 15 on the die, so it is not blinded. Number 2. It is a 3, so number 2 is blinded. Where'd you go?
Blinded and impaled.
Number 3 is also blinded.
Nice.
He pulls out some sunglasses and puts them on. I can't see. And number A rolled a 19
Okay.
on the die.
2 out of 4, not bad. All right. And that's movement, action, bonus action. So that's it for Vrexil.
All right, once Vrexil is done, it is now the Big Zombo's turn. So Big Zombo B rises up and then launches himself across. Well, actually, walks across the tightrope until he is right above Canari. And then he uses the tightrope, goes boom, boom, and then uses it to launch himself up as he grabs his hammer and he goes to slam it down on Canari.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What kind of Wile E. Coyote
No.
nonsense?
What is your AC?
19?
All right, so this will hit
Oh.
for 3d8 plus 5.
Ooh.
How far away is Canari from me?
That will be 25 feet.
Is Canari also 25 feet up, though?
Yeah,
how
but-
tall is the present?
I ignore
20.
Pythagorean theorems and I just whatever it says on the map.
Cool.
So
That will be 14 points of bludgeoning damage unless there's something else that happens.
it's minus 6 damage from that.
All right, so only 8.
Cool.
But then it will swing its hammer again because it's multi-attack.
Of course.
Ooh, that is a 19 on the die, so that will hit 9, 16, 21 points of bludgeoning damage as you get smacked from above and then smacked from the side as this
21.
giant. Yeah.
Ow.
As this giant inflatable mallet thing hits a lot harder than you would expect. But when it hits you, it makes like a weird sounds.
Of course. It's
Hellish Rebuke has a reaction. Or not Hellish, Divine Rebuke.
Divine Rebuke. Oh, it's undead.
Yeah, and I'm casting it at 3rd level.
Ooh.
All right.
So that's what?
Ooh, get him.
Okay, 48 for 3rd level plus another d8 because he's undead. So that's 5d8 of radiant damage.
Yep. So as he hits you with the second mallet, you start flashing forward, and he's like, "Uh-oh."
He needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 15.
He will fail.
Nice. 22 points of radiant damage.
Nice.
He puts up his hands, and the light kind of sears into his undead flesh as his hit points go down a tad.
Just a touch.
I need to make Constitution saving throws for the concentration on locate object.
Right.
First one's a 17. Second one fails. So that one is.
You can no
locate
longer
objects no
locate
more.
the object that you have already found, essentially.
Sweet.
Oh no.
All right, so Big Zombie A is going to jump down for 5 feet. 10, 20. Oh wait, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's gonna get right up on Vrexil and Braenna.
Ooh.
Rude.
And he is going to actually leap up and try to just land on you with his large girth using a squash maneuver. So I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws. And yes, you can see it, Barbarian.
Yes.
Ooh, 7.
Dirty 20.
I am squished.
All right, so if you failed, you will be taking all of this damage, and if you succeeded, you will be taking half this damage. So that will be 25 points of bludgeoning damage. And if you failed, you are going to be technically prone
Ugh.
as he is completely on top of you.
So
Braenna, however, you were smacked a little bit, but you managed to pull yourself out of the way.
So 25 Halved because I succeeded and then halved because I'm raging?
Yep.
So 6 points of damage?
Yep. And then he kind of like belches a little bit, but as he belches, like his stomach gurgles and like little pools of like gross blood just start like spraying out onto Vrexil and like certain areas where
Never gonna get out of the gears. Oh
knife wounds.
god.
And then a little flower like squirts and it's just water. You hope.
Though, why did you have to
The
add
smell
that?
tells you it's something else, though.
When you are done, it is Umbran's turn.
Umbran, God, I wish it was
Or,
faster.
when I am done, it is Umbran's turn.
Oh, excuse me. Is there anything else for you, Deb?
No. No,
Okay.
I said when you are done, and I'm like, wait, no, that was me. It was my turn.
All right, I'm gonna move. Oh no, I'm gonna move me. Move me. Move me. Oh, there we go. I'm going to enter into the tent and say, I don't have anything witty to say. I just admire how much effort you all put into your craft. You are undead, though we will have to kill you. My apologies.
All of the turned ones raise their thumbs up.
As I cast Tasha's Mind Whip. What do sorcerers do? As I meta magic twin spell, and I hit both of the big ones with it.
Yes.
They need to make me intelligence saving throws of a DC 16.
I bet they're really smart.
Yeah, zombie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a rough. Dev's been rolling really well, actually.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
hoping those negative modifiers will help.
-3 to these rolls. So, A rolled a 16 -3, so 13. B rolled a 3 -3, so 0.
All right, they're going to take my 3d6 psychic damage, which I don't think zombies are resistant to. At a 6, a 3, and a 3 for 12 points of psychic damage, as they are both now wrapped up in Tasha's Mind Whip puppet string. They can no longer make reactions. When their turn does come around, they will only get one action, bonus action, or movement.
So you have these whips out and they're wrapped around these zombies and you're kind of like pulling it tight so that they are unable to do much next time
I'm
it comes
sorry I
around.
wasn't faster, Canari. Oh, she's gone.
Once you are
I
done,
apologize to Wyatt when he gets back.
do you have anything else you would like to do?
I'm gonna bonus action dash to this side just to get a little further from the fray.
All right. So, after your turn, it is going to be 1 through 3's turn. So I'm just going to do number 3. He's just going to run away. 30. And dash to the side. And he just like goes up to the wall and he's just like trying to like paw at it. He throws up a little bit out of the stress but out comes actually just like ribbons that he just starts pulling like the
I love magic.
and then 1 and 2 are not turns, so 2
But
is actually going to
2 is blinded.
is blinded, so 2 is going to make a random roll to see which direction he goes in. 1 is north. I should probably put a marker on him to make sure that he's blinded black because he sees
One
black.
and was it 2 and 3 that were blinded?
You said I thought you said 4, but that doesn't make sense.
It was 2 of the 4 that were blinded, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was 2 and 3. So 3 had to run away anyway. So
Alright.
he just like kept on running until he couldn't anymore.
Gotcha.
2 is blinded. He's gonna do. This is 1. So it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he is going to run this way until he runs into number 1. Number 1 is going to be slaps him. Number 2's head starts spinning around from being slapped. And then number 1 is going to go 5, 10, 15, right up on Umbran because he is not blinded or turned. And he is going to perform his crushing hug. He just outstretches his arms and he goes in for a hug. Does a 16 hit you?
No, my armor class is 17.
All right, so the hug does not work. You duck underneath it, but as you duck underneath, he goes down to try and bite you. Just goes. Rah! His teeth are like the kind of like wind up teeth, and that was a 1. So he face plants into the ground, just completely bent over, and starts like chewing into the dirt, and then he stands up and spits the dirt to the side. And that is
a little bit of performance anxiety there. Unfortunate.
That is 1 through 3, 4 through 6. They are all turned, so they're going to run to the sides. And then it is Moxie's turn.
Oh, it's me. Okay.
Everybody left you outside all by yourself.
It's fine. Moxie got distracted a little bit, and then, you know.
Moxie saw a bug, and she's like, "Oh, fuck, what's that?"
No, Vrexil succeeded on his concentration check, so you still got the fisticuffs.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. So if I go here,
Flanking.
is there advantage? Right.
There
Flanking?
would be an advantage on the big guy.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's what I wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll attack. Wow. Both of these dice have failed me. That's a 12 and a 13 to try to hit.
Neither of those seem to get past its large, squishy outer surface.
Okay. And then the fisticuffs, I can just take that, right?
It's just
I
part
don't
of your
have to,
attack action. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a bonus anything.
That was your first attack.
Yep.
And you have extra attack, and then you have the fisticuffs attack.
Okay, so for the next one, it's gonna be an 18.
18 does hit.
Yeah.
Sweet. No, just one of this. So that's 10 damage for that.
All right.
And then as my second action, yeah. I mean, this is my third attack. It's an 18 on the dice.
All right, that'll hit.
That's 8 damage.
All right.
And I'll go ahead and Fury of Blows. Whoops. Oh no, that's it. That's 17 plus 8.
That'll hit.
That's a 10 damage. And then for the second Fury of Blows, it's a 19
19 will hit.
for 11 damage.
11. So you just go pop, 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 and you just are punching right into his gut. Your hands are going inside. You're not, as you're coming out, like little ribs and entrails are like on your fists. And then he farts a little bit. When you're done, you can pass the turn on to Canari.
Okay.
Oh, God, that hurt.
Do you say that in character?
I think Canari just has like little owls like circling around her head. Just like,
They're actually owls, but with Moxie's head.
Absolutely.
Punch, 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 punch.
I think Canari's gonna shake her head a little bit and like try and focus back up. What's easier? I should get this up now just in case. I'm gonna cast Aura of Vitality.
Aura of Vitality.
So healing energy radiates from you in an aura within a 30-foot radius. Until the spell ends, it moves with me, centered on me, and I can use a bonus action to cause a creature in the aura, including myself, to regain 2d6 hit points, which is exactly what I'm about to do. Because, ow!
Right.
Yep.
Bonus action 2d6, and it's 30 feet. Which, just to make sure we're aware, that includes everyone but Umbran at this time.
It's
That's
just
okay,
one
these
one
things aren't
creature
hit
though at a
me.
time, right?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah. Bonus
Um,
action, so in the future.
Yep. I regain 10 hit points.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's not a good way for me to get off of this. Could we say would trying to pull the ribbon, does that include a actually, how tall are these things?
What things?
The giant zombie clown.
They are probably about 12 feet tall.
Cool. I'm gonna, because I think I can get up 15 feet.
All right.
And still be within its like range,
Mhm.
like threatened area. I'm just gonna try and stand on top of his head to try and like, hopefully not. I'll be harder to hit. I
Oh
think
my god.
maybe, or he'll bonk himself in the head with the hammer.
So you
Yeah,
are.
Queen, yeah! Get that clown logic!
So you are.
Harry Potter troll.
So you are standing on top of this giant zombie's head,
Yeah,
and you went up like 15 feet. You said to do this.
yeah. I mean, if he's like 12 feet tall, I think like I'm just a little bit above his head.
All right. You're just doing a little tap dance. Once you are done, you may pass the turn on to Braenna.
Well, I see a clown. Needs a whacking.
Why did that make me so happy?
Unknown. I've got my Warhammer. Not the Blood Maul. So I got my hammer and my shield out. With it. Oh my god, garbage. 8 and a 3 on the dice. Let's see with the advantage. So what? I don't remember what my modifiers are. Oh my god. 17 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Okay. Or 4 plus 6 is 10 plus another 2 is 12 damage for the first hit. Second swing.
As you hit his head with this thing, his head kind of just like sinks into his form like a turtle, and then he grabs like his hair and then pulls it back up.
I liked you better with the head inside. And second, god dang, 19 on the die. So 28 to hit.
Yeah.
6, 12 for 14 damage on the second swing. And my ancestors are all out and harrying this guy. If he tries to hit anyone that's not me, disadvantage. If it hits anyone that's not me, resistance.
All right. So when you are done, you may pass the turn on to Vrexil.
Yep, I've done that thing.
Oh. So I am like squished beneath this thing, right?
Yep, you're just kind of like pressed up against the ground. Just.
I think Braenna would have tried to like hit it in such a way that bounced him a little bit. Bounced the
Right.
clown.
Gears of your armor whirring.
Struggling against the weight of this creature. Vrexil's going to like pull aside a panel and then like pop open a thing and slam down on this big blue button, and is going to try and cast Thunderwave in such a way. It's a 15-foot cube. Could I put it like here? So that
I'll do you one better. You can cast it just straight up.
Okay, I was like, I don't want to hit any of my friends, but
Yeah.
I want to hit this guy. If it's a 15-foot cube, could I hit the big guy and number 1? Since I'm kind of beneath it. Is that not really how that works?
I mean, it would probably work if you were to do it like just from the side a little bit.
Because here's the thing: if he fails, he gets pushed away from me. If I go straight up, he's just gonna go whoop.
Oh
and it's
yeah,
gonna
that's
hurt.
fair.
That's gonna
So
hurt.
You're technically in this space, so if you were to do a 15-foot cube, yeah, you'd be able to hit both of them.
That'd be awesome, because I really don't want this thing going like, landing back on top of me. That would be no fun. So it's another con save, but now it's a DC 17 because it's me instead of my gem here.
All right, so number 1 is gonna go first for this con save, and he failed, and then Zombie A is going to roll, and its Constitution is the roll is a 16, so it fails.
Hey! Alright, so they both take, that's not bad, 12 points of thunder damage, and they're pushed 10 feet away from me. I don't really know how that's going to work with the big guy, because there are kind of other things in the way, but the little guy...
Can you then move your movement to get out?
Yes, please.
You use this thunder wave, and you hear the crack, kaboom! And you actually blow the zombie head, the large zombie, just clear off. It just swirls through the air and then lands straight up, and then his horn, he just and the body seems to be like shredded by this thunderous force enough to just let you slip on through.
Cool. So I assume half my movement to stand up, and then
number 1 is pushed 10 feet away from you.
Yeah.
Into the spikes, yeah?
Yeah, into the spikes.
If it were to have been pushed, if it were in like this space, then it would have been pushed into them.
And then another, so if half my movement to stand up, so then like 5, 10. See, just kind of move in the direction of Canari there. And that's my movement and my action, so I'm all good.
So A is dead then?
A is dead.
Bummer, wasted my thing. It's fine.
Oh.
Dead zombie clown.
Better dead than hitting stuff. It's fine.
Let me know once you were done.
That's it. I think that's all Vrexil's got.
The giant zombie is going to reach up and grab Canari's leg. So Canari, I need you to make an acrobatics check. Against his strength.
That's a 17.
All right, so unfortunately, it will grab your leg, and then it will throw you at Vrexil.
Ow.
So Vrexil, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Canari, you as well.
Would Steps of Night do anything here, since I'm flying?
It's like if you threw a bird, it would still like tumble, and then it might be able to catch itself, but that all depends on the force being thrown, and you were thrown pretty hard. It has a high strength.
Full action, or is this a bonus action to throw?
This is his full action. It's
okay.
Kind of replacing. It's like modifying this. I'm using a hill giant stats, and I modified the hill giant's rock throw to just like grab someone and throw. Yeah.
But the point is, he can't do anything else though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 5 from Vrexil. Sorry.
All right.
Just say that you didn't dodge on purpose to catch Canari. She'll think it's a beautiful gesture. She'll think it's a beautiful gesture.
Her mom is just gonna go crazy over this meet cute. So
It's a dexterity saving throw, right?
Yep.
Cool. That's I think that's yeah, that's a 17.
All right. So, Canari, as you're being thrown, you're trying to right yourself and with your Steps of Night, but it's just too much, and you slam right into Vrexil. Vrexil, because you're getting hit by this thrown object, you are going to take 26 points of bludgeoning damage as she just completely cracks into you. Are you down?
Vrexil tumbles over backwards and is limp next to his armor.
Oh no.
And then Canari, you are now in a different position. Okay. And you're just right there. And Canari, you will take half of that. So that was, what did I say, 26? So 13.
Okay.
Canari has armor, so she's just like kind of like this missile. Moxie, if she was thrown at you, you could have maybe deflected her.
You could have caught her.
Okay,
How
so
much
I'm really mad.
damage?
You
Thrown her
throw
back.
her.
Yeah, you could have thrown her back.
Why didn't you throw her at me?
Sorry, I was distracted by OBS stuff. Can I deflect damage from the Vrexil from the damage to Vrexil with my spirit shield?
Yeah. What's
Okay.
the range?
30 feet.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. So that's minus.
Well, that's so 8 damage less. Does that help?
So 18 total. Oh, okay, you're still down to
I
0.
got you.
So 26 halved is 13. And then I made the Constitution saving throw to keep up Aura Vitality.
Unfortunately, Vrexil's fisticuffs end on Moxie.
Discuss is gone.
Yeah.
All right, and then B is going to use its movement speed to jump down.
B
No,
cannot
it's
do that.
not. It's got no movement speed. He's
Oh,
gonna
you're
stay
right.
up on the box.
You're totally right.
Yeah, he can
If I
only
had
do one
gotten in
thing.
here before these guys, the whole first round wouldn't have happened. I'm so sorry.
Umbran, it is now your turn.
Unbelievable. You know, I come in here for a lovely show, and this is what happens. I'm disappointed. I'm gonna. Zombies. What's the word? Resistant to necrotic damage, or is it? I think it's just poison, right?
Yeah, it's as far as you're aware, most zombies are just immune to poison.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab this thing as he's pushed to the other side of me, and I'm just going to inflict wounds on him.
All right.
I can't do math. Modified 20, I'm sure hits
Yes.
this thing. I was like 12 plus 8. God, what's that number? 4. Oh, very good. A 9, and a 6. 24 points of damage.
Nice.
All right, as you go and you press your hand against him, he's just like, and like parts just like start falling away, and he's basically missing his entire chest cavity at this point.
You still up?
But he's still up,
Jeez.
barely. When you are done, by the way, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action disengage and just leave him there.
All
Move
right.
over to the other side of this one so Moxie can get flanking.
All right. So at the end of your turn, or once your turn is done, that's what I meant. That was a weird phrasing. Number 1 is gonna run at Moxie. He's not sprite enough to get advantage on himself, so he's just gonna run at Moxie and try to do a crushing hug. That is a 23.
Yeah.
So you will be hugged and grappled and restrained while grappled. And you will take 8 bludgeoning damage as he crushes around you, squeezes in tight. Oh, friend. And then he is going to use his hysterical bite and bite down on you, or attempt to. And that is a 22. So it bites you.
You can do both of those in the same turn?
Yeah, it's his multi-attack. He hugs and then bites. So
Oh, shit. Okay.
yeah, so that will be 10 piercing damage. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. DC is 14.
I got an 18 on the dice plus 4,
Then
so.
you were fine. If you had failed, you would have been affected by the effects of hideous laughter.
Oh, okay. Well, sucks for him. I think his jokes are terrible.
But if you die, you become a clown zombie. So don't die.
If you die by not getting hit by one of your friends.
Yeah, right? Like,
All right. So number 3 is going to continue just like pounding against the side of this. Number 2, I'm going to. He hasn't been hit, so he doesn't actually know either of you are right there. So he is going to see if he can, which way he moves, going clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So he's gonna go this way, 5, 10, 15, 20, right into the spikes.
Hey.
Attack
So-
of opportunity?
Yep, you will get opportunity attacks as he runs through, and he will end his turn in the spikes.
17 to hit.
17 to hit will definitely hit.
I only got a 14.
That will also hit.
Oh.
Take 10 damage from the spikes. That was a 2d6.
11 points of damage.
7.
11, 7, so 18 total. All right, he is just like standing there.
I don't know.
Oh, I shouldn't be able to take an opportunity attack.
Really?
I think you can, but with disadvantage.
Oh yeah, it would be a
Advantage
disadvantage.
because we're flanking.
Grappled and in restrained, or
You can take opportunity attacks when you're restrained. It just is at disadvantage. Yeah.
got it. But it was advantage
But
because we were
with
flanking.
advantage
So
for
it,
flanking.
okay, then it stands.
And also
Well,
the zombies.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've been doing this, but they can repeat the blinded saving throw at
They
the end of
cannot.
the turn.
No, they don't.
He was blinded, so you have advantage against him no matter what.
Oh, I didn't even
he
have
will-
to move up. I could have stayed.
He didn't. He will fail his saving throw against the blinded.
Cool.
I saw the light. All right, so once they're done, 4 through 6 are going to continue trying to get away as fast as possible, but they can't, so they're just going to take the dodge actions. And then Moxie's turn.
Okay, so Moxie's just gonna turn around and attempt to hit this zombie one.
All right, you do have disadvantage.
Oh wait, is there a way to get out of the grapple?
Yeah, it would require your action to make a acrobatics or athletics check against his athletics check.
Okay, can I go ahead and do that?
Yeah, of course.
Can I use the roll that I just rolled?
What did you roll?
An 18.
Yep, so you are able to just use some maneuver to get out of his grasp, and he releases you. You're no
Okay.
longer grappled.
And then there it is. I think that's kind of all I can do, which is not great.
As you stumble backwards, he honks his nose.
I hate that.
Can use a key point to do your patient defense or step of the wind.
Yeah, as a burnt.
Once you are done, by the way, you will pass the turn on to Canari.
Okay. Dang. Okay, I was gonna do something else entirely. Stupid dude. Okay. Yeah, then I guess I'll spend a key point to do the patient defense to take the dodge.
All right, you are dodging, disadvantage on all attacks against you. You don't know, it might come in handy.
Yeah.
And are you done?
Yes. Can I?
All right, Canari.
Bonus action for Aura of Vitality on Vrexil for, 2 hit points.
I'll take it.
Got 2 ones. And in the same kind of, as that flares, Canari kind of takes it all, forms it into a little moon, and like Kamehas it, just guiding bolt straight at B.
All right.
No, that and the thing. That's a 7, I think. Yeah. So that's a 16 to hit.
All right, that will hit.
Cool.
He tries to block it with his hammer, but the bolt just seems to knock the hammer away and go straight through his shoulder as you Kamehameha him.
14 points of radiant damage.
And he starts to glow with a light sheen of energy, giving the next person advantage. That's your action, bonus action. You are prone. No, you aren't prone. You aren't prone because you succeeded. So you are not prone, so you can still move your full movement speed.
Cool. In that case, I'm gonna get 5, 10, 15, 20.
Once you are done, by the way, you can pass the turn to Braenna.
As I stand there, I'll tell Braenna that the ribbon's really heavy. I think that's the way to open it.
Okay. Got it under control.
And Canari's just gonna like look there and just like try and hold this aura up.
All right, Braenna's turn.
Okay, I am going to run 25. Can I argument for athletics using the ribbon to bound up the side, just using movement to get up to the top of the thing?
Yeah, either that or like just a big old jump.
Okay. Do you want me to roll athletics or no?
Sure, why not?
18 plus athletics.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So I'm up
You
here.
did that at advantage, right?
Yeah. My Cthulhu dice has been awesome tonight.
All right, you have advantage on your next attack against this creature.
Okay. Big ol' swing. You taunt me, dice. That's a 19 on the dice.
That will hit. Is this with your blood maul?
No.
Would you like it to be with the blood bowl?
No, not right now, because if I use the blood maul, then I can't use my shield, and I would like to have my more icy. So, whoa. 5 plus, oh my god, what are my modifiers? I cannot keep them in my brain. 6, 11 plus 2 is 13 for the first hit.
All right.
Oh, that was a burp. Excuse me. Going to reckless for the second attack. Yes! That's a natural 20 on the Cthulhu dice.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yep, so
crit.
roll everything as normal, add everything as normal, and then double it.
Okay. 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 2 is 15. 30 damage.
All right. You just crack him in kind of like this uppercut maneuver that hits his jaw, and his jaw actually comes off of his head and starts swirling through the air and lands in the distance.
Warhammer got your tongue.
His tongue's just hanging down.
See, I can do jokes too.
Is it dead now?
I don't think so. It's going.
Unalive? Okay, I'm just checking.
He turns his head and looks at Umbran and shakes his head, and his tongue goes.
I'm trying to be polite.
Braenna, when you are done, you can pass the turn to Vrexil, who has 2 hit points.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Vrexil just sort of like, oh, that wasn't very nice. Catch this. It's just gonna launch 2 lightning launchers at the creature.
It's sad you got knocked out. I was enjoying your fun clown jokes.
Yeah.
One of them's a natural 1, the other's a natural 20. So.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
Thanks.
All right.
The first one will miss.
Yeah. But I can put the extra d6 that I get once per attack action into this other guy. So that is 14 doubled to 28 points of damage.
All right, the lightning launcher shoots off both of his arms,
Yes.
and now he's still standing,
Oh.
but he's just armless, chinless, with no prospects for love.
Bonus action. Yeah, no, you know what? If he hits me, it's healing potion's not gonna help. So yeah, I'll just I'll move.
Hide behind Canari.
Yeah, no, I'll go. Well, yeah, there's still number 1s over there. I'll just back up a tiny bit here and go there. That's it.
All right, so the big Zombo is next, and he is going to just go waver back and forth and then kind of leap up a little bit and try to do that squash attack on Braenna. So Braenna, dexterity saving throw.
That's no bueno. That's only a 14.
You needed a 15, unfortunately. So that will be 24 bludgeoning, but you have that to 12.
Okay.
I finally
Ow.
did over 10 damage to you. That is its turn. It's just gonna lay there prone on top of Braenna. Braenna, you are now grappled and restrained.
Cool. I'm super stoked about that.
It is Umbran's turn.
How banged up is that big one looking?
He is just goop is just sliding out of his armholes, and his tongue is just like unattached, flopping around.
You just hear Braenna underneath. This is the grossest thing that's ever happened to me.
His tongue starts like smacking her against the head.
Oh. Oh.
I'm going to use Mind Sliver. I'm going to twin it on the big Zombo and the Zombo I had hit with the inflict wounds. See if I can just drop them both. Those are more intelligence save of 16.
Number 1 will fail. B will also fail. They're not smart.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I was counting on. This is a question my brain just thought of right now. If I'm twinning spells, do you want me to roll separate damage? I've always just rolled damage once and used it for both.
I would say separate damage because it's technically. Wait, no. That's a good question.
I checked the book. It did not say anything regarding how to do the damage for. So I guess it's up to you.
Roll separately.
Okay. This will be for the big one. That is 10 points of psychic damage to the big one.
His head explodes. And he kind of just slops off to the side.
Oh.
All right, and then the little one stuck in the spikes is gonna get 9 points of damage.
All right. As you hit him, his head also explodes, but something's different about it. His head starts swelling up, and it pops and releases an explosive cloud of confetti. But the confetti is sharp and painful. So, Moxie, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw. DC is 14.
I'm so sorry this keeps happening to you, Moxie. I feel so bad. Umbran's negligence has just done so much to you.
I rolled a 16 and it was a dex saving throw, so I have a +8. I'm pretty good at dex.
You will take half, so you take 3 slashing damage or piercing damage as it starts like. The confetti seems to be sharp, maybe glass shards mixed in with confetti.
Well, that's rude.
A little bit. Once Umbran is done, it is.
Well, now we know.
1 through 3's turn. 3 is still over there. Number 2 is going to pull himself.
I'm going to attempt to shield Moxie if this thing gets close.
Number 2 is going to pull himself off the spikes and will do another D8 since he's blind. He pulls himself off the spikes and then he runs back into the spikes. He spins around a little bit and then just goes and runs back into the spikes, and that will be 6 damage, and he actually slumps over and his head starts inflating and pops into a burst of confetti, but no one is within 5 feet. So the other zombies go right after that, so they are turned for still some time. So it is now Moxie's turn. Moxie, I will tell you that this is the bottom of round 3, and there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 7 more rounds of the turn. So you essentially have that many rounds to, everyone has that many rounds to do what they need to do with this present and whatnot. So it is Moxie's turn.
Okay, well, Moxie's still gonna run this way. And, she doesn't know anything about the present, so.
So just go towards Canari.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do Hand of Healing on Vrexil.
Oh.
Her hand and the tattoo glows as she presses it against your form, and
Wow, only 5. Sorry.
your broken
Than
leg
2.
snaps back into place.
That's more than double what I had, so we're great.
Your leg had been shattered, but now it's snapped back into place, all fixed because of the Hand of Healing.
Yay!
A
I did
shattered
it.
bone only takes 5 hit points. Wow.
I helped.
It's a very small. It's not a dense bone. It didn't require that much reparative
Not
bone
Vrexil.
tissue.
Well, you don't.
Vrexil's bone.
You don't have any like diseases or conditions on you, right?
No, not that I.
Okay.
Just sad and embarrassed.
Just broken. Okay, then I guess Moxie would probably ask really quickly maybe about the box and kind of run up to the box. Because I had more movement, so.
What is this box?
Yeah.
It's a really heavy ribbon and box is made out of wood. I
Say no
think.
more. And then she just runs away to go
All right,
help
it
Braenna.
is Canari's turn.
Bye. I don't know. I'll keep Aura Vitality up, just to try and like heal Vrexil and I. So bonus action to heal Vrexil for 6 hit points.
We're just going up and up.
When you're done, it is Braenna's turn.
Did I have an action? No. Yeah.
All right, Braenna's turn.
We want to open this, yeah?
Yeah.
You call out to the rest of the team.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the ribbon and we'll yell, Moxie, catch me! And I'm gonna grab it and jump off the edge of the box.
All right, rage advantage.
$14 plus what am I adding?
It's strength. It's athletics.
Athletics.
So it's probably over 20.
22.
As you grab the ribbon, you grab it with your big old meaty strong hands. You launch off. You kind of like put your arms together and have Moxie catch you. Moxie, roll me an acrobatics check to make sure you can catch Braenna.
Catch
It is
the weight of Braenna.
It is 20 feet up.
That's a
Catch the
set
dwarf.
16.
All right, Braenna, you are caught by Moxie. Moxie, she just falls into your arms, and you've braced yourself to absorb the impact. But as Braenna comes off, it actually pulls the ribbon apart. The ribbon starts unraveling itself, and the 4 corners of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 corners of this box and the top pull off and fall to the side. And on the inside is this 20-foot tall statue of what appears to be a bronze dragon with a one of those like glasses and the nose, and the mustache over her face.
Oh yeah, the Saturn thatch.
Yeah, and then in her right clawed appendage, she has a coin just being held there, like she's looking at it, like haha. And now it's Vrexil's turn.
Are the numbers, numbers 4, 5, or 6? Are they still just running? Or are they looking like they might turn around at any point?
They are still running against the side, like trying to scratch their way out, but they can't, so they just keep taking the dodge action.
We have like 7 more rounds before they're, I think, stop running, so.
Okay.
Canari would probably yell out and be like,
Yeah.
less than a minute,
Yeah, Vrexil
more than 30 seconds.
will go up to the statue and action investigation check. Look for a coin.
Isn't it just
Okay, roll me that investigation check.
Is it right there?
Or what?
natural one? You don't find it.
20.
You start like, where's that coin? Where's that coin? Where's that coin?
Is that the
And
coin? Oh, okay.
and then Braenna is like up there, and then you see the coin.
I enjoy the fact that it's probably still like Braenna in Moxie's arms, as they're both like up there.
Right, and like barely like conscious, just like, where's the
Yeah.
coin?
With his like no health.
Oh, it's right there.
Good job, Vrexil.
Now you think if you
Thanks.
were to land a successful lightning launcher attack on that coin, it would knock it out of claws, or a similar sort of like projectile.
Let's see. Oh, that one's gone. All right. 16 on the die. 20.
Yes. So your lightning launcher hits the coin and it just knocks it out of the claws, and it goes and then lands in the hay behind you. And I am going to presume that one of you will run up and grab it. Probably Umbran, because Umbran's turn is next. So Umbran probably dashes up using his cunning actions, and then you all make your way out of the tent, leaving the rest of the zombies behind, and we are going to go to into a short rest, but a 10-minute break.
I just would like to pick up the coin with my mage hand and be all like,
Right.
you didn't want to just, grab it, or...
You hear
Fine.
the
Yeah, I'll
faint,
run over and pick it up, don't worry.
you hear the faint screams of the soul inside, but it's pretty muted.
Moxie
used to it
says
by
my
now.
hands were full.
All right,
No, not your mage hand. His mage hand.
it is time for our 10-minute break.
We'll be back in
We'll be
12.
back soon. And we're back. I just ate a bowl of spaghetti, and now my belly is happy. And
He ate it in front of us, guys, in like 2 minutes flat. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Zombies
and I
don't
didn't
do
even
nothing.
charge them. Like, that's benevolent of me.
He didn't breathe once. It was just a constant vacuum of noodles. Just
I didn't have
The
much
worst
time.
thing.
Half my
Does
break
not
was
compare to the zombie
half
crowd.
of my break was spent comforting my dog, who is only walking on 3 legs right now because
Aw.
he pulled a muscle in his back right hind leg. So he's walking around with like that hind leg up, and I'm like, you need to walk it off.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a drama queen. He's
Yeah,
actually not being
your
that too
dog
bad
got
about
nothing on my 15-year-old, 25-pound diabetic cat, man.
what a
Yo's
sentence.
got the hard life.
All right.
It's a struggle.
So, as you run out of the circus tents, you run out into a darkness. The sunlight, well, the replicated sunlight, has completely dimmed. You don't see any light above in the sky. But what you do see is a fog seeming rolling up from where you had come from all around. And the fog starts to get dense and rises up from the ground, and you start hearing the lapping of water against a shore. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And in the distance, you see a figure, a large figure with a large stick, sticking it into the water, pushing this gondola towards you. And
Ferryman.
he approaches, and as he gets closer to your area, the fog clears, and there's a bridge that stretches out, and he parks his gondola right next to the bridge.
Do you want me to roll that
Can you
healing?
once more
Yeah, you can do the healing
Okay.
too.
describe to me, A, where we are, and B, what is going on? Did this guy appear out of nowhere in a river we have not seen, or...
Yep, right
Are
as
we
you
up by
appeared
the
out of the circus
beach?
tent, there was this lapping of waters against the waves, fog, and this character stretches out his hand towards you, and it's just a skeleton hand.
Guys, what do you suppose he wants?
Well, we know exactly what he wants. He wants the soul coin, presumably to
opens up
ferry us off to the...
Opens up the trunk of the handy haversack where the coins are.
Handy haver trunk.
Handy haver trunk.
Vrexil's got so much junk in that trunk, guys.
Oh, you know it.
What are you dealing cards?
Dealing the coins. Everybody's got a coin now.
Everybody grabs a coin, and you each hear individual screams from your coins as you, and just racking your mind with these intense pleas for just ending their misery.
So that's 16 points of healing for Canari, 15 points for Moxie, and then 19 for Vrexil.
Oh, dang.
Are we headed to the final fight? Should we rest before we go? Will there be time to rest at the Citadel?
I don't think we know the answer to that.
I have a feeling this is a like get on now kind of thing, right?
Would I know like stories or like kind of just as a cleric, like would I know things about ferrying people to the afterlife and like this whole thing? Or like how long that journey usually is?
You can roll a religion check.
Yeah, why not? I'll guide myself because this seems like an important thing to know. You said religion? 16.
You are aware that there are several mythos, lores, legends of a ferryman coming to those who have just departed their mortal life and had ferried them to the afterworlds, the underworld. Various iterations of this sort of concept. It usually requires a toll. How you get that toll, you don't really know, but it seems as though you have a toll. The journey varies depending on the story. So if you're not sure, probably you can't see the mountains at this time. So if you think that you're going towards the mountains, it might take a little bit, maybe enough time for a short rest.
Wait, where is the challenge? Do we think the zombies were the challenge room? Or do we think there's a challenge room back inside?
There wasn't really any place to go inside.
Yeah, I think this was more like the cathedral one that didn't actually have like a challenge room, that the challenge room was like whatever we just did. Just the challenge area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just trying to cover all our bases.
Yeah.
I am untouched, but I only have one sorcerer point left.
I'm doing a little bit better. Thank you, Canari, but I'm a little low on spells, but I can manage.
I'm also low on spells, but I mean I still have, I'd get my, I could set up a Twilight Sanctuary again, and that Channel Divinity recharges on a short rest. But I might be low on damage.
Oh, I get my sorcery points back on a short rest now. I only have 1 second level spells left, though.
Vrexil,
That's either...
you begin receiving a message in your mind.
Oh! Wait.
Hello, Vrexil.
We have to go.
I just wanted to
have
let
a
you
pearl
know
of
that
power.
Team
I'm
Phoenix has
fine.
made
I
it to
can
level
go.
3. Hopefully, you are soon behind.
Vrexil,
You-
tell her to suck your dick and you hate
Could
her.
reply to this message if you would like.
So you can't stand her.
We're right behind you, actually. I think. We'll be joining you any minute now. How was it? Everyone make it? That's it.
After a little bit of time, you're thinking maybe she can't send another. She might be out of spells.
Right.
Did we let Team Empyrean know about the stuff that we found out with soul coins and things like that.
I don't recall you doing that.
I thought
Are
they.
we supposed to?
I mean, that's part of the alliance, I think, is sharing information.
For some reason I had in my head that they like kind of already knew. I don't think we told them, but
Let me search through my robot memory.
Notes.
I have sending prepared, but that would be
They
last-
told us about the haunted circus.
oh. Well.
Yeah, but they didn't know about the coins, I don't think.
They did not go to the haunted circus. That's all the exchanging of information we did.
Well, instead of wasting the spell slot, how does this work?
I mean, we can tell them when we get through to the other side.
Oh, your animal messenger.
Yeah.
We could send them a carrier owl. Just to catch them up. You know, that thing we haven't done since we literally first got here and switched it to Vrexil.
Yeah, so we've been here long enough that it would have reset the raven. So we could use it to animal messenger to them. We know that they're on the level, right? Like, we don't have to know exactly where they are.
Correct.
And judging by what we know from the map and everything, like, it could fly pretty much anywhere within in the haunted lands within 12 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we could just use that, unless I guess the only part that I'm unclear of is, does it come back to us? Is it now their raven once we're done?
No, it does come back.
Okay.
If possible.
If not, I'm sure they'll just hang on to it and we'll pick it up from them when we next see them. Say, when you get to level 3, could you just send us our raven back?
Is the ferryman just like sitting there like?
Yeah,
His
he's done.
hand is
He'll wait
outstretched.
forever.
Unmoving.
He ain't got nowhere to be.
Okay, so do we want to send the owl to them, or are we just gonna be like, whatever?
That sounds good.
let's send the owl. Just to no sense in, especially because it's Braenna's cousin, and we did make an alliance with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we trust Team Imperion more than we trust Team, you know.
Yeah, the Verdun or whatever, forget his name, but he has some weird thing with my god, so that I do not know. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
rest of
You
them
can
seem
just
solid.
send it to Skorden.
Mm-hmm.
Skorden. Yeah.
Great.
Do we write it or do we tell the bird to say it?
It's with animal, or you cast that spell. It won't let me like actually look at that spell.
Would you like me to look it up in a book?
I can
With
I
my-
think do it.
My robot encyclopedia of spells.
Oh, it will return to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also speak a message up to 25 words.
Yeah.
When the messenger arrives, it delivers your message to the creature you have described, duplicating the sound of your voice.
Okay, so if someone who's better at words than I am, let's be real, I would totally waste a 25 word letter letting people know information. So does someone else want to like actually do the message? Moxie's like kind of holding out the figurine.
I'm used to it with sending.
Okay, here.
Collect soul coins from temples, usually on a statue. We found Moradin.
Tiamat.
Yeah, Tiamat.
Fountain.
Yeah, Fountain. What's the
Wow.
god of peace?
Eldath.
Eldath's. And clown Circus. Ferryman will come. See you soon. Reaper.
Nice.
Perfect.
The
Also,
little
could
silver
have
raven.
mentioned that we're moving up to level 3, but whatever.
Silver
I have
raven
a sending
spreads
spell
its
if we need
wings,
it. You're fine.
shakes a little bit, and then leaps off your hand and flies into the darkness. Disappears from sight.
He said it's going to Scorpion. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna send it to Scorndon. He's like our point of contact within Team Imperion since he's family of Braenna.
Yeah.
And the other 4, 2, 3 of them do not seem too keen on us.
Is that the team with Brentlock?
That's Phoenix.
Okay.
No, they've
When
got
you
the
look-
grouchy old dragon guy. They've got the person who does not like Canari. They've got the big fancy lady who did
Yeah,
something
the
I
really
don't
well
remember.
dressed lady.
Yeah, and they've
She was
got
mad about something.
yeah, she was mad about something. They've got Scorndon and someone I can't remember, so they must not be important.
You actually fought with the other one on the beach.
Colonel Sanders?
Devlin Taylor,
The
the
Oh,
bard.
is
the
he the
creation
bard?
bard.
He's the bard.
Yeah.
He's a creation bard.
He was fun.
Yeah, he seemed very out of it, so I guess he's okay. Very out of it.
When you turn around to look back at the circus, like if you just make a cursory glance, you'll realize that it's not there. When you look around everywhere, it seems everything around you has disappeared and you're just in this dark plane of existence with fog rising up all around you.
But the messenger got out okay, right?
You don't know.
Okay, get out of here. You're not going to be helpful.
It'll come back to us one way or another. Well, why don't we just give the coins and we'll take a short rest in the boat. If we can get a long one in, cool.
Yeah, Umbran's going to step forward and drop the soul coin into the ferryman's hand and then climb aboard.
He grabs it, and then when he opens his hand back up, it's gone. And he lets you on. He's a magician.
I love magic.
Right? Takes Vrexil's coin. Awaits another.
Oh, Moxie will go.
Grabs it. Disappears. You walk onto the ship. The little gondola. There's enough room for all of you.
Brady's gonna go last.
Yeah, Canari will put her coin in his hand.
He looks at you. Should I charge you for 2?
That's rude.
Should charge her for like 2 dozen.
And then he opens his hand and you walk on. Just fine. He was referring to your
No, I know what he was referring to. Canari isn't dignifying his.
Oh, I thought we were
He's not
talking about
dignifying
Braenna.
it.
No.
No.
And then he stretches his hand, awaits Braenna's
I'll tell
coin.
my ghost joke again when you get to Braenna.
Yeah, Brain will kind of apprehensively drop it in and then get in the boat.
He grabs it.
The charger
and
for 2 dozen.
he drops his hand. It's so much funnier the second time.
That's how jokes work.
And then as soon as all of you are aboard, he turns and he sticks his pole into the water and pushes off from the shore. It's completely dead silence. Pun aside, there's no winds, just fog, just broiling around all around you. If you were to look over the edge, you would see different spiritual entities moving forth, people's gaunt faces screaming, seemingly stretched as they're just swirling through, almost like fish below you, except mortal humanoid ghosts below. It's just a really nice ride.
I think Braenna is fully like in the middle of the boat right now.
Vrexil's just laying back like, ugh.
If you see images in the mist, they are tricks of the mind. Do not go to them.
How's business been?
I have made a great profit.
Oh, I bet. Any interesting stories about other passengers?
No.
Oh, I'm sure there must be something.
Canari, you look out into the distance and you start hearing, Canari, help! No one else hears this, but you hear it. And you see your mother struggling to stay above the surface of the water. Canari! She reaches out for you and she gets pulled under quickly. Bubbles rising up from the surface, about 30 feet out from you. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Figured. I was about to ask if I could do it. I think wisdom. Yeah, I get advantage on that. Okay, cool. And they were both 15 plus 7, 22.
You don't feel compelled to jump out there. Braenna, in the distance,
Braenna's jumping, guys.
you start hearing, Braenna. Andrew's voice pierces through the darkness, and in the distance you see him standing atop the water, his arms outstretched. Braenna, I'm waiting for you. Save me. Come. Grab my hands. Pull me back. And now roll me a wisdom saving throw.
It's been good all night. Nope. What
was it?
Nope.
2 plus 1.
4 plus 2.
All of you see Braenna
Twice what I
starting to
thought.
unfurl herself from this like tight
Yeah,
grip she had on her form.
Yeah, fully wrapped up.
And she's looking out into the distance, and she starts her way towards the edge of this wider gondola. And if your passive perception is over 14, you see this happening.
Nope. I am talking to the ferryman. Trying to get some juicy gossip.
I consider myself an entrepreneur.
That is fascinating. Tell me more.
I think Canari sees this and like tries to like grab onto Braenna.
All right, make contested strength checks using athletics.
Moxie would also doing the same because she would have seen it.
All right, so one of you can have advantage, or you can both roll separately.
I have a +1 to strength.
Oh, okay.
You might be better with athletics.
Is it? Is it a? Did you say we're doing a saving throw or just a regular check?
Just regular check, athletics.
Okay, I have a 4, so I'll do it.
I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
And can I throw guidance on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that
Oh, jeez.
Moxie and Canari are reaching for Braenna, Vrexil and Umbran will see this movement happening. It's not quite as subtle.
How many people do get jump over?
There's been 6, but none in the recent days.
Ah, that's disappointing. I would like to hand Canari my rope with my grappling hook on it, as I
All right.
do not break eyes contact with the no eyes I'm assuming this man has.
You look into his eyes, and it's just like blue flames inside, just deep set into the
Yeah.
skull.
Tie a rope around her.
What
What is this, our first Odyssey?
Moxie, what'd you roll?
No,
Roll the-
you're just
22?
Ooh, okay. Braenna, what'd you roll?
So
Yeah, 22.
I rolled a 13 on the dice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a plus 8.
So that's 21. So Moxie, you grab Braenna by the mohawk and you just yank her back in. And Braenna, you're snapped out of it.
Ugh. Don't like this place. Let's get out of here now, please. Ouch.
Trying.
Ouch.
Sorry about your hair.
Moxie, you look out into the fog and you see an island. And on this island is a long table stretched probably 10, 15 feet, completely filled with food. Just a large gourmet meal ready and waiting for you to run up and just like giant turkey, ham, potatoes, just all of your family favorites just ready and waiting for you to devour. So roll me a wisdom saving throw. Your mouth is drooling. Vrexil, you begin to see
Shit.
an expansive library just
Yes.
built in the distance. And you see a sign over the top of it that says the Dark Archives.
Ooh. That is sufficiently mysterious. He's interested.
Vrexil von Chomsky in the Dark Archives.
Yes. All right, Moxie, what'd you roll?
A 9.
As soon as you yank Braenna back into the boat, you catch the glimpse of this, and you're like, wait, maybe you had a point.
no.
So now Braenna and Canari can both make strength checks against
Yeah, I think
Moxie's
like
athletics
she's
check.
she's like Moxie's still got Braenna's like by the mohawk, so
Mm-hmm.
Braenna's like grabbing her hand at the same time.
Oh, Vrexil rolled a 10, so Vrexil's going off the other side of the boat.
Oh God. You go after.
I got
you go after
Moxie.
So it's contested athletics checks. So
Oh. Well,
Look at all these flesh beings and their souls of longing and companionship and
My favorite thing is going to be when
Gluttony.
Umbran goes off because he's staring into the depths of insanity and death.
bitch, I am the depth of insanity and death. How
You think-
dare you?
You think- I'm holding us together.
I gave you a rope. Tie people.
I was sure
Alright.
Why?
that
So you can do nothing and just talk to some. Okay, I see how it is. We're
I
doing all
am
the
trying to
work.
gather
Okay,
information.
whatever. But he's not going to tell you anything. He's a fairy. I'm.
You
I'm
don't
grabbing
know
Vrexil.
that.
I
The
rolled.
spectral gondola driver says, "It won't affect you. You are not one of flesh."
I know. It's fine. It's not like I have wants and desires or whatnot.
So as everyone's just like chaos is happening, you're just at the back of this boat, just like talking
Fine,
to this
I
guy.
pick my rope up and I tie everyone around the neck. I'm like, "Day, can't believe I have to do this.
all
You
right.
are embarrassing me in front of the aspect of death."
Oh my God! You are
Vrexil
so
and
within
Canari.
guidable distance.
Vrexil, what'd you roll?
Vrexil goes to try and go towards the library, and on the recently repaired leg, just like just falls over because that was a natural 1 for his.
Canari, you go to reach for Vrexil, like, no, and then Vrexil just topples to the side on his own,
Doesn't even make it himself.
Whatever.
and he
I
snaps
tie-
out of it.
Yeah, I tie the armor legs together. I'm starting to tie us all together, and I tie it around Umbran too because I'm annoyed. I rolled an 18
I've
on
already
athletics.
tied people together. Don't worry.
Oh.
Do it myself.
Canari and
Oh my
Umbran are arguing
God.
it while this is all
I-
happening in character, by the way.
Canari's
Everyone who's
just.
watching.
I'm not talking to Umbran the
All
rest
right. Moxie and Braenna, what are
Good.
your
Think
contested
I want
athletics
to talk
checks?
to you? I have more interesting company.
Yeah, it's because you have feelings, I guess, and you don't want to discuss those right now.
There
Braenna,
are
what'd
no
you roll?
feelings.
Wait! Braenna,
I
what'd you roll?
No,
I
let his
have
action
a-
unfold.
right now. Braenna has a death grip on Moxie with a 26.
Oh.
Yeah, I only got a 15, so.
Moxie, you try to reach and you're like, Ham. But Braenna will yank you a little bit and you snap out of it.
Well, it's not even. It's
Your
not even that
stomach rumbles.
she's trying to stop Moxie. It's that
Right.
like she's still like traumatized from freaking Andrew again, man.
I like that, like, some people have, like, really intense things, and then Moxie's is just, like, Thanksgiving turned up to 10. The wealthiest people just invited her to Thanksgiving.
What did
Look,
you expect?
2 people made their backstories very deep and emotional, and the rest of us were like, I don't know, I like to punch things. And the other was like, I don't know, I like books. One of them's like, I don't know, I guess I'm a robot.
All right.
Welcome to our
Moxie just
recap
doesn't
of
remember
Team
her
Reaper's
sad
backstories.
backstory, okay?
As you all are arguing, the boat runs aground. And the driver says, "We have arrived." And
Is that
before
kind of a
you,
short rest?
it does not. It was about 25-30 minutes.
Okay.
Before you is a shoreline, a rocky shoreline. You seem to be in the middle of these mountains, and when you look up, what wasn't there until you ran aground was this massive citadel just stretching up into this dark sky, lightning striking above, and the dark spires of the mountains surrounding it. And you see a staircase that seems to be zigzag up the side of the mountain until it reaches the citadel above.
Braenna's
Thank you
literally
so
the
much
first
for
one out of
lovely
the boat.
ride.
He
It was
pushes off of the
wonderful.
shore and disappears into
Spending
the
time.
darkness.
I'm so sorry for my flesh beings. Such a noisy ride we had.
He's already
but
gone.
again, thank you so much.
You're talking to the darkness.
I never got off the boat.
He takes Umbran with him. Friend.
Not until I finish. It's, you know, when everyone's trying to get off the
Right,
bus
right,
and you
yes.
have to stop and thank the bus driver, and people are like, let's just go. Look, I'm very polite.
So you were on this rocky shoreline with the dark citadel in front of you and the dark waters behind you. This beach seems to stretch a fair distance, probably about 1,000, 2,000,
Oh, wow.
1,500 feet in length. In width, it's probably about 500 feet. It seems to be pretty sizable.
If we
No.
want to stop and take a rest.
Immediate threats or anything, and you all are exhausted. No
I
exhaustion.
mean, you guys are all
Right,
exhausted.
yeah.
Some of us are fine.
Well, what if we just chill here for like a little bit?
I think that's fine.
Take a short rest, but I wouldn't fall asleep. We're not on consecrated ground.
What if that part doesn't apply here?
I don't want to take that chance.
Okay.
With how many of us almost went into the water?
We were fine.
I'm going to activate my Pearl of Power to regain 3 levels worth of spell slots, a level 2 and a level 1.
Nice.
So I only have 1 spell slot missing, and with my Blood Will Vial, I refill all my sorcerer points on a short rest.
Ooh.
So I'm just 1 second level spell slot now.
I think Braenna just
But
kind of
also-
sits on the beach,
Yeah.
puts her chin on her knee for, we're looking out.
You all look between each other, quiet, kind of just like letting everything set in of like what you've been through this whole level, and you're finally at the precipice of the end of this and into something maybe worse. Or maybe not as bad. Who knows what level 3 could bring. What would you all like to do?
We got in the short rest though.
No.
No.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was a short ride, but if you want to
No,
take
I
a
thought-
short
right
rest
no, we're
now,
gonna take a short rest. Yeah, like at the
Yeah.
on the
Alright.
shore.
So yeah, you take your short rest.
Oh, it's only an action to use the Pearl of Power. You don't need a full short rest to do it.
Nice.
Excuse me.
Look at that. Wonderful. I'm good to go whenever everyone's ready.
Vrexil will go up to Canari and go, Canari, thanks for getting me back up back there. That was rough.
Yeah. I got hit with the giant hammer twice. You got crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I'm here for.
It is. You're the one of us who can't really go down. And Vrexil will shuffle through a couple of vials and pull out the potion of life. Hand it to Canari. I think before we do whatever it is we're about to do, you should have this. If you go down, it'll pop you back up. Just a little bit. But I'm expendable. We're all expendable. You're not.
Nobody on this team's expendable.
You know what I mean. Any of the rest of us can go down. If you go down, we're done.
Well, hopefully it won't happen. Especially not with this. Thank you.
I don't think it will, but just in case. And yeah, it's a potion of life. Consumes, when consumed, gives the effect of the Death Ward spell.
Death Ward lasts for 8 hours.
I'll drink it at the end of the short rest. Just before we head out.
The silence in this area is almost deafening. The only thing that you really hear is the lapping of the water against the shoreline and each other. But there's no wind. Everything seems still. And just the rumble of thunder here and there from the lightning strikes above, striking the top of the tower, the various different spires.
Well, I guess it's time to continue forward.
Yes, that's a complete sentence. I thought you had to stop to think about it.
Well, I was just like, I think that's kind of like where we're at.
Yeah, if everyone's well rested,
Yeah.
let's begin our ascent up the tower. I start walking. Oh, I get my rope back. I start walking.
You take the trek across the breadth of this beach towards the beginning of the stairs. You see an archway that kind of welcomes you, and on the bridge of this archway says the words, "Do not enter."
Well, obviously we're ignoring that.
Just real quick, I'd like to check for traps.
All through the stairways, there's various different torches with flames just flickering up, lighting the pathway. And what is your investigation?
There's another natural 20 on investigation, so 25.
You find no traps. And you are fairly certain that there is no trap.
Oh, wait, yes, continue. The one time I didn't check for traps, the room filled with acid, and we had to flee very quickly to make it there.
Also, just to say it out loud, Vrexil is going to use his action to make the all-purpose tool give him the Spare the Dying cantrip.
Ooh. Might come in handy.
That's my cantrip for the next 8 hours. Not to be ominous or anything, but...
Just in case.
I appreciate how prepared you are, Vrexil.
So
I can do nothing to
need
prepare, so.
Yeah, I don't
everyone
have anything
to roll me Constitution checks to see how much time it takes you to climb these stairs.
This
Wow.
dice is
God damn
on
it.
fire. That is a 19 for a 22.
All right, 22 from Umbran.
Is it
Canari, what'd you get?
a check or a save?
It's just a check.
4.
Oh no.
4. All right. So how about you, Vrexil?
5.
Oh, how about you, Moxie?
So can I do like an athletics or like an acrobatics?
Oh, we are so screwed.
May I cartwheel up the stairs?
This is an endurance test, so no. It will be all about Constitution.
I roll. It's a 3.
3, 4, 5. Braenna, what'd you get?
21.
Error.
All right.
Our weakness.
So it takes you probably a solid 3 hours to climb up the stairs because of the
I like to
various
imagine
breaks
that-
you have to make
That
along the
Umbran
way.
and Braenna are just going full force and everyone's way back there, so we keep having to stop and Umbran's like checking his watch.
Vrexil, even with your armor, is just like the amount of like moving things that you have to do, the amount of parts that you have to like navigate with. It's just a lot. It's a lot for a little gnome.
It like pulls like a squeaky nose out of the gears. Like, what is that?
So, eventually, you find your way to the top of the stairs. And what lies before you is a massive citadel, kind of like Bowser's Tower, but not really. That was a funny reference in my brain, but nobody laughed.
We just spent 3 hours climbing stairs. Nobody's laughing.
There's a lot of stairs, and
Is it
I was way more out of breath than I thought I should be. So
There appears to be a bridge that crosses from where you are to the citadel. Kind of like it's not a drawbridge, it's an arched bridge. But below is a massive gorge underneath, where if you were to fall off the side of that thing, you would probably not make it. And at the end of the bridge, there are stairs that lead up to this entry way with a large wooden door. As you cross the bridge, get to the other side, and start making your way, the doorway opens up on its own, inviting you in. Bats fly out of it. Lightning strikes. Flames up at the top of the citadel and just torches all around.
This is like a Scooby-Doo episode in hell.
I mean,
It
their
is.
aesthetic is delightful, I must say. They've put a lot of work into this. All right, I'm assuming this is the last chance. If anybody would like to prepare anything, say anything, make any proposals, now would be the time.
Moxie,
yeah.
just stay close. I can do that fisticuffs thing again.
Okay, cool.
Really thought.
A beautiful proposal. Let's go.
Giving everyone else rings, but I get cuffs.
Nice.
As you get to the door, there's just similar torchlight inside. And standing in the doorway are two nigh identical maid-like women. They seem to have very pale features, a headdress hiding their ears, the sides of their face, and they both appear to be similar height of 6 feet. just standing with their hands together, and they say in unison, "The master has been expecting you." And now I need everyone to roll me a perception check.
Ooh, not good.
Oh God.
That's 2. Plus
5.
2.
God damn it.
I am
Right.
ecstatic that we are in a beautiful manor. I feel like I'm at home. These maids are gorgeous. I'm so excited to be here.
All right. What did Moxie roll?
Yeah, it's a 8.
What did Braenna roll?
5.
What did Vrexil roll?
Ooh, 5. Oh, no.
Wow, we are
No.
not perceptive.
Umbran, what did you say you rolled?
Got 2 plus 2.
All right, Canari.
16.
Save us.
Woo!
Canari,
My passive perception is 16.
as you look at these women talking, you see fangs on the top of their row of teeth.
Are they leaning in to like?
They're
Okay.
standing straight up. They say, "Come with us," in unison, and then they turn. And
Umbran falls right in line. He is back in a manor where he belongs. Just
the entryway, this foyer, has a massive double staircase that leads up to the second floor. Everything is like these dark colors. It's very like Castlevania. Yeah, inspiration. Castlevania. There's large tapestries, large windows that like when the lightning strikes, the light comes through and flashes with it. They'll lead you up one of the side of the stairs to the second level. And the second level seems to stretch even further back. And at the end of this hallway is a set of doors. Now our master says that you can either go see him right now, or you can enjoy a rest in one of our guest rooms. Which do you choose?
I mean, I feel like we could probably use a rest, right?
That the death ward will be eaten up.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
I mean, how much do we really trust? Like,
Yeah.
would be
not at all,
very rude to keep the master waiting.
Very well.
Should go meet with him first, yeah? Oh, I can't wink. I say wink very quietly.
Moxie winks and it like kind of shrugs.
I'm gonna post in the Discord what they look like.
Yeah.
Handouts.
Yeah.
They both look like this.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm living. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not terrifying or anything.
I think Canari's just holding on to her holy symbol.
What do you choose?
We're going to the master, we just said, right?
It would be rude to keep the master waiting.
They turn and they begin walking towards the door. And they open the door. And this is a large room, akin to a throne room. And I actually have a battle map for it.
Yeah, but do we have to battle?
Ooh.
We just get this nice picture.
Okay, now how big are these cartoon bats on the wall?
Oh, you see the bats? Oh, there's just giant bats. They're large-sized creatures just hanging off the ceiling.
Ooh.
Okay.
Maybe pets.
They're so cute.
As you enter, there's a large outstretched red carpet that leads all the way past in the middle of these large pillars that seem to hold up the roof above. And at the end, you see a man standing on sitting on a throne, just leaning
Posing
into
on
it.
top of it.
Like the idea of him just standing on it.
He has pale face, dark, thin hair that drapes down, and a very, very elegant dressing. There's a coffin to his right, your left, and a treasure chest to his left, your right. The two vampire women go and continue walking. They speed up, somehow unnaturally quick, and stop at the base of the stairs that lead up to this throne altar. And they step about face, turn, and look at you, their hands still tucked away in their sleeves. And the man doesn't even stand. He just says, "Welcome to my castle. What can I do for you?"
Are we talking to him from all the way back here?
Yeah,
His
should we
voice is
move
like
up?
booming. This room actually does like help with the acoustics a lot.
Okay.
So
Could
you
I
can
say
hear him
Umbran
clearly,
would
but-
know the proper distance to be that is respectful to be from this man after having followed the maids?
You're not quite sure.
Are you
Uh,
sure?
You can roll me in a history check.
16 plus 5. 21.
You think that you don't want to go past his attendants.
Well,
Probably being about 60 feet away from him would probably be the most correct thing in this
here.
instance.
Yes, I would like to move my friends up to an appropriate distance to speak with him.
My name is Lord Orrenon. It's so nice to have guests in my humble estate. I hear that you did not take up my offer to take a spare guest room. Fascinating. You see
After
behind
I've waited,
him.
no.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, you see, now that you get closer behind him, a stained glass window, and you remember that in the Fomorian's chamber where you fought him, there was also a similar chest, but this room doesn't appear to have like a obvious door at first glance.
I await the appropriate amount of time to make sure I do not interrupt him.
Right. He stops. He looks at
Yeah.
you.
Lord Orrenon, it is such an honor to be here in your manor. We did not want to keep you waiting, as we have requested this audience.
Oh, do you
We
have
seek-
requested it?
Yes, we have come to you seeking your assistance in moving on from this place. There is another area that we must attend to, and we were hoping to seek your assistance with the matter.
Oh. He smiles, his fangs are protruding. I can help you move on to a new place.
Thank you so much. It means the world to us, and I assume I'm ready for combat. Because we all
From
know where
this
this is
life
going.
to the next. But I will offer you one more time. Do you need time to prepare before you go toe-to-toe with me?
No, I think we're ready. Though you have been the most gracious host, and I pull out my daggers and I get ready to fight.
Yeah, we're going.
Somebody's
Alright.
dying.
There was no way not to. I mean, we all know what we came here for. I was just putting on a show.
All right, we will probably end the episode before we get anywhere close to finishing the combat. But we'll get a few rounds in,
Get around
see
it.
what happens. So, I need everyone to roll initiative.
You doing your thing, Canari?
Oh God. Oh no.
Yeah. Braenna, you take it.
Uh-oh. Escape dice. There we go. Okay. Beautiful.
I hope you do not mind if my children play as well.
No, it would be
And
rude
the
to.
women bare their fangs and start hissing. And the bats launch off of the walls and start flapping their wings as they all start looking in your way, in your direction.
Okay, but what if I do mind? Like, could you tell them to leave?
You have made your choice.
I don't like being watched.
All right. So did anyone get over a 20?
23.
23. Nice. You're the one who wants to go first.
Yep.
All right. Did anyone get between 15 and 20?
20 for Umbran.
All right. How about 10 through 14?
Moxie's a 10.
All right. How about below 10?
I am at 9.
6 for Vrexil.
Yes. Well, if I defeat you here, you can join my undead army. How about that? All right. Braenna, you were up first.
Rage. And bam. 40 feet. I think gets me there.
The vampire spawn hisses at you.
And 1 second. Does the Lightbringer's glowing take an action or bonus action or anything to do, or
Let me double check.
it doesn't say? It just says using a command as the user commands.
So you pull out the Lightbringer.
Yeah.
Light. Let there be light. It just part of your. It's a free action to command.
Cool. The Lightbringer is lit up as I recklessly
The spawn hisses.
Swing it. Yes! Natural 20 on the first swing.
Whoa!
So, Cthulhu Dice is the radiant one. Ugh, that's a 1. Garbage. Okay. So, bleh, bleh, bleh. 11, 13, 14, 28 with 2 of it being radiant damage for the first attack. Second attack.
And second attack.
25 to hit.
Yeah.
For 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 2 is 10. Bludgeoning plus 5 radiant.
10 bludgeoning plus 5 radiant, so that's 15. All right. She's already bloodied. All right. After Braenna, it's Umbran's turn.
Can't quite get close enough to do what I wanna do, which is that. Yeah, let's try this. I'm gonna stay where I am, but I'm going to throw a witch bolt at the vampire lord, sir.
Witch bolt or chaos bolt?
Yeah. I don't have chaos bolt. I have witch bolt.
All right. Isn't witch bolt only 30 feet range?
No, witch bolt's like 90-foot range.
What?
It's something crazy.
No, witch bolt's 30 feet. You're thinking of something else. I'm not sure which one though.
No. Let me show.
Because witch bolt's the one where you shoot it and then electricity swirls
you're
around
right.
it, and then it stays around it unless it moves out of range.
Okay. That's fine. I have the ability to walk forward. Crazy. Do it. Yeah. I'm going to distance cast my witch bolt, so it brings it from 30 to 60 feet, and then I'm just going to hold it on him for just get some kick damage going.
All right. Distance witch bolt.
That's 11 plus 8. Does 19 hit?
19 does in fact hit.
Oh, nice. All right, so that's going to be a D12, and I'm just going to, keep holding it until I get a better strategy. Ooh, not with that dice.
Oh.
I'll find it later. Or 11. Woo! Good D12.
All right.
Yeah. And I have to stay within range, so I'm just going to plant my feet and keep shooting lightning at him.
And at the end of your turn, he's going to use a legendary action. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. As he leaps off and spreads his cape, and he glides down and lands gracefully in the spot. And then it is the spawn's turn. Spawn number 1 is going to rush toward Umbran. 5, 10, 15, 20. And spawn number 2 is going to stay on Braenna. Spawn number 1 is going to make a claw attack.
Oh, with my meta magic, I also activate my curse from my Shadowfell Shard. He's got disadvantage on the next saving throw that he makes.
All right. So, Braenna, you get bit with a 21.
Ouch.
Oh no, clawed, not bit. But yeah, still 21. So that is 2d4 plus 3. So that is 4, 5, 8 slashing damage, and then it makes a bite against you. First, it rakes against your skin, and then it goes into towards your neck for a natural 20. I am so sorry.
How close?
The Guardian emblem, I think, is 30 feet.
It is, and I'm 40.
So it goes down, stabs its teeth into Braenna's neck, and starts gorging itself on your blood. So that is 8 piercing, so that's halved by your rage, but then you will take some necrotic damage as well. That is 8 necrotic damage, and your maximum hit points are reduced by 8 as well. And it seems as though this vampire spawn looks a little bit more glowy as it regains some hit points.
Mm-mm.
And then the next spawn is going to make an claw attack against Umbran. That will be a 15, so your AC is 17, so that won't hit. But then it is also going to go for a bite. You're thinking, oh, this isn't going to be anything. But then on a 17, it's going to bite into you, and you will take the 5 plus 3 piercing damage, so 8 piercing damage, and then the necrotic damage as it seems to wither away the wood around the bite, as it's not sucking
gonna
away your
shield that.
blood. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna shield that.
So as it goes in for the bite, the shield goes up and it starts like raking its teeth against the shield. And then the bats are going to swarm down.
Oh.
So the bats have a fly speed of 60. So 1 against Umbran.
That's alright, cool.
1 against Canari. This one's gonna go against Braenna. And then this one is gonna go against Umbran. All right, so we're gonna start with A. So A is going to attack Umbran. These aren't very powerful bats, so that's an 11, so it'll miss. The B will go after Braenna. Braenna, what's your AC again?
19.
Okay, it is a 19, so it will hit. So it will bite you for 7 piercing, which would be half to 3. And then C is going to, its teeth are going to bite down into Vrexil for a 20 roll of 20, and then a dirty 20. So then you'll take 3 piercing damage. And then Canari, that's a natural 20.
Guardian Emblem, cancel
So
it.
Guardian Emblem gets canceled, so you won't take that. So that will be 4 piercing damage as it bites you. And then Lord Orrenon, he smiles. Let's see if you are tired of being overconfident in your abilities.
God, I
He goes
hate
5,
him so
10,
much.
15, 20, 25, rushes at Umbran, and makes a unarmed strike against Umbran.
Attempting to hit a 23 with shield.
That will miss. He
Nice.
rears back and he smiles. And then he goes in for a bite as well. That will actually hit with a 17. No, yeah, 17 plus 9, so 26.
Oh, yeah, that just it.
So that will be. Umbran, the damage that you took also reduced your maximum hit points.
I took no
The
damage.
necrotic damage. Oh yeah, you didn't take any damage. This will
Okay,
reduce your hit points. So 9 piercing, that does not impact your hit points, but then 3d6. So it'll be 8, 11 necrotic, and that wears away at your hit points as well.
I've never had a host be so forward before.
I just couldn't resist. And then
One
that
sec.
is the
Add,
end of.
do with my dudes 6 less damage.
6 less damage. Okay. That will be 6 less reduction of your maximum as well.
Max hit points at 39.
And then he will end his turn.
Oh,
And
concentration check. Witch bolt's still up.
all right, Moxie, it's your turn.
Okay. Moxie's gonna kind of look at Vrexil and be like, are you okay with this, or?
Yeah, just stay near.
Okay. I guess Moxie will just move here and punch this bat. That's a thing I can do, right?
Punch bats, right?
I can punch bats.
Yeah, you can punch bats.
So that's gonna be a 21.
21 definitely hits.
And that's 8.
8 to C. All right.
And then I'll do another attack. Oh, just kidding. Probably not. A 12.
12 does not hit.
Yeah. Okay. And then
You whiff the second one.
I'll go ahead and do a key point and attack again.
Fury of blows.
Jeez. Yeah. 16.
Hits.
That's gonna be 10 damage.
All right. Still up.
And that's gonna be 8 to hit. And that's going to be 9 damage.
And you punch this bat in its throat. It coughs a little bit, then falls to the floor, dead.
Hey.
Okay, good.
All right.
One
You
down.
like my bat tokens? They're cute.
They're adorable.
They are very cute.
Moxie,
Um,
once you're done, you can pass it to Canari.
Okay, yeah, I'm done.
All right, unfortunately, Canari, you don't get to go yet because Lord Orrenon is going to take his legendary action to make another bite attack against Umbran. He's sort of just like still there, and then he like rears back and then goes back into it. And that is a 23.
Damn it.
14 plus 9, so that is right there. So that will be another 6 plus, where is it? 6 plus 4, so that's 10 piercing. And then 9 necrotic, which reduces your maximum hit points.
All right, max hit points down to 30.
Yikes.
And then it is Canari's turn.
Channel Divinity for Twilight Sanctuary.
So it hits everybody except Braenna at the moment.
Cool.
Oof.
I will take the attack of opportunity just
All
to
right.
try and get within 30 feet of Braenna.
Squeak, squeak, bite. And that's a 2. It misses.
Cool. Then I'm going to do a bonus action. Yeah. I'm going to spend the last 2nd level spell slot I have. And I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon right behind Lord Onion.
I hate you all so much.
Hey, listen, you're going to throw a vampire at us. I'm going to bonk it. That's a 23 to hit.
That hits.
And that'll be 9 force damage.
All right. At the end of your turn, if you're done, Lord Orrenon is going to take his second
Goodness.
legendary action
No, stop it.
and go
His third legendary action,
3.
excuse you. He jumped first, and then he did an extra bite.
Well, yeah,
his-
I mean, but
yeah,
his turn started, so it resets.
Okay.
5, 10, 15. He's going to step onto the pillar and go 15 feet up,
Oh, you.
spider climbing. Try to get me up here. Can you?
Is that a
No.
threat?
Maybe
Canari
it
just
is.
cracks her knuckles.
Mhm.
She's like, I can move this frying pan anywhere, bitch.
Bring it on, Clary. And that is the end of his legendary action. So now it is Vrexil's turn.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, good.
sorry. Canari gets 11 temporary hit points.
Nice. Does Moxie have like arm wraps?
Wait, do I get an attack of opportunity
Yeah.
on him?
No, his legendary action does not provoke opportunity checks.
Loser.
He's just like, I am the knight.
We're all the night. Come off it.
Vrexil's turn will pull out the quill, and glyphs and words will begin to appear in the air and then wrap their way into the arm wraps around Moxie's arms, and begin to glow with this like soft purple light. As with a bonus action, casts the Fisticuffs. It's my last 2nd level spot. And then, since he just moved, how far up is this guy?
15 feet.
Oh, you jerk. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's fine. We'll move towards the spawn, and it's going to go kind of around, so hopefully not triggering anything from Bat D. And you'll notice that since the short rest, Vrexil's armor is bulkier. The legs look like they go outward into little shields, and is going to run forward, and the 2 shields will kind of go as two massive thunder gauntlets go and strike towards this little vampire spawn.
Rock and sock and robots.
Oh god. That's a 1 and a 2.
Those miss.
Nothing doing.
It's your first time using this, so there's bound to be like, that stuck.
That's rough. Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's it. That's all Vrexil's got.
All right. At the end of your turn, you all see that faint outline of the chandelier above you?
Yeah.
He's going to say, "Nah," and then the chandelier will snap and will fall down on top of everyone that it is underneath. And I need everyone, basically Vrexil, Umbran, and Canari, to roll me dexterity saving throws.
I believe in you.
I want that bat
the spawn
too.
Yeah, the bat and the spawn will also have to do that.
21.
All right.
16.
All right.
10.
All right. Umbran, you failed. The rest of you succeeded. Let's see if this. The ceiling, by the way, is like pretty tall, so this is a pretty impactful force. Dexterity. Oh,
Did
well,
Vrexil get any temporary hit points from?
Oh, yeah.
Vampire spawn failed.
Vrexil got 7 temp HP.
Both the
One
bat
on the
and
6.
the vampire spawn fail. As the chandelier crashes onto you, the flames spouting here and there. I'll be. That will be 17 damage on a failure or half on a save.
Oh, I've got bad news. But maybe it's not that bad. Umbran is down.
Oh no.
Umbran does have an ability, though, called Strength of the Grave. If I can make a charisma saving... Is it charisma? If I can make a charisma saving throw 5 plus the damage taken,
22.
I drop to 1 HP instead. I have a +7 to my charisma saving throw.
I believe in you.
Be good! 10.
Oh,
And
over
as
7.
the chandelier falls, Umbran seems to not be able to get out in time, surrounded by creatures and such, and also just worn out from the bite of this vampire. And the chandelier falls right on top of him, crunching his body beneath, and one of the candles hits his cape. And
Oh, my
flickers.
cape.
No.
Oh, my
And
cape!
His cape and his body starts catching on fire.
Oh, crap.
And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
So that's bad.
Not good.
But at least the Twilight Sanctuary's up. So anyway,
Well, for
At
10
least
HP
that.
if you're dead.
this is the Exoguardian.
This is a CR14 monster. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Vampires are
13.
CR14.
It's 13.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god.
yeah, so there you go. You are finally at the final boss battle, and at next episode we will continue this battle and see if you prevail or if any of you will die.
We should
roll
take
up,
that nap.
roll up those backup characters just in case.
Get ready to meet my dad if anything bad happens to Umbran.
Don't make me tell my father.
Yeah.
Father, we're going
Oh, dad.
So we're getting
All right.
Lucius Malfoy if you die?
Thank you, Ryan. Lucius
Oh
Malfoy.
my goodness.
He's a cool warlock dad.
So, in terms of temporary hit points, I will inform you that when you get temporary hit points, if you don't get dealt damage that is above the temporary hit points that you have, you don't get any failed death saving throws. So if you have 7 temporary hit points and you take 6 or 7 damage, no death saving throws, no failed death saving throws. You just lose the temporary hit points. It's kind of like a buffer. So Damn.
Alright.
Well, how about a little bit? So, and that's it for today. I hope everyone who is watching enjoyed it, and I hope the players enjoyed coming back to it after a little hiatus.
Yeah.
And we will be back next week. Total drama sphere.
Drama everywhere.
Help.
Help. Yo.
This
Okay,
might
goodbye.
be bad.
It
Don't
might be
provoke
bad.
vampire lords.
But hey, Canari's there. She's a healer, and Moxie can
Yeah,
heal. Moxie doesn't require spells for healing. But yeah.